humans of the internet. Welcome to the Gallant Horde. Today we are playing the Wanderers in... I was about to say the Whispering Wastelands. No, the Wanderers in the Wastelands. These 6 lovely people are going to tootle off to a desert and try to figure out what's making people disappear. And harassing them and eating their camels and so on. Before we get into that, we're going to do all the things we do. So, today's shiny thing is the Slippery Saddle. As all our in-game giveaways have been recently, this is from Level 1 Gamers' Deck of Useful Things, which you can buy, and you should, because these items are freaking cool. The Slippery Saddle will appear in a Gallant Horde member's house. If the winner is a Horde member, it will appear in their house, or the house of their character. Probably not their real house, although who can tell. If you are not a Horde member, you can decide which Horde member gets it. That is up to you. Birds of a feather. It is the 1st of October today in New Zealand, so we're starting a brand new subscriber goal. 50 new or renewed subscribers will get us another Birds of a Feather game. We currently have Wizards, Paladins, and Sorcerers. I feel like I've left someone out. Wizards, Paladins, Sorcerers. No, that's it. Coming up probably during the break between seasons, because at the moment we are just cramming Horde games into every available time slot that we can. And we have 2 classes left that we haven't done. That's Fighters and Rangers. So you can vote in the Toasted Ogre which of those you would like to see next. You have to be a subscriber to see the Toasted Ogre. It is a channel in our Discord. So do the thing. We are still taking donations for Adam's Rig. Last week we hit the previous one, which means that we are now going to go in search of Morwin's, figure out what's going on with the Morb, which is the big cloud giant orb that hovers above Morwin's house in the realm. Our next reward will be a Familiars game. So we'll be pulling 6 of the Familiars of the realm, Familiars/Steeds of the realm, into an adventure, and they will go off and do something. We are currently... This is a big one because I think it's the motherboard. I stand to be corrected because I am not the tech person. Adam is the tech person. But anyway, we are currently 425 New Zealand dollars away from that. So it's a big one, and we don't expect to hit it anytime soon. But Familiars, woo! Also, changing gears slightly, if you are a critter and you would like to be involved in Critmas, which is a giant Secret Santa thing that we do every year, because many years ago, Jax said to herself, this won't be so hard to do, and started doing it. Today is the last day to sign up for Critmas this year. So if you haven't done it, go do it. Go find Critter Gifting on Facebook or the internets or in our Discord, and hit the thing and do the thing. It's pretty freaking sweet, not gonna lie. We have a game tomorrow called Big Fish, which I will be DMing, which will involve going fishing. I'm sure it's going to be a nice, chilled fishing trip. So you should come and watch that too. But before we do all of those things, we're going to go to the desert. Going to roll some Potion of Resistance and make these lovely people introduce themselves and their characters to you. Starting with Matt.
Hi. Yeah, I had to do it that way today. I'm Mac. I play Alex. He's still a disaster warlock, but he's getting more serious. Yeah, he's great fun. Warlock, Pact of the Talisman, Archfey patron. He got to have a conversation with his patron the other day. So join the Discord, and you'll be able to see that too. It's great.
It's great fun. She's great fun to be. Corey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Corey. I play Marky, the Artificer, now Rogue, Warforged. We have Whisper back today, so Whisper is coming to tag along as well with a giant ass emerald stuck in its body.
Nice. Rex.
Hi, I'm Rex, and I will be playing Ursa Rustfur, the Beasthide Barbarian. He thinks.
He thinks. Does he? Does he think?
No, he doesn't. But...
Dave.
Hi, I'm Tess. I'm Dave. I'll be playing Tess.
Sometimes it's
Gets a
hard
bit
to tell.
confusing up here sometimes. Yeah, she's a Harengon Paladin, Oath of Atonement, mostly. A little bit of Bard in there. And And yeah, today she looks like a halfling though.
Oh yeah, we all have seeming on us. Tiffiny.
I'm Tiffany, and I'm playing Fianna, the Gloomstalker Ranger, and she's accompanied by her familiar Umbra, who's currently a crocodile skink.
Awesome. And Chelsey.
Hi, I'm Chelsey. I play Rumi Redding, the human grave cleric battle master, pocket cleric, babysitter.
Alrighty. Your potion of resistance today is radiant. Resistance to radiant damage.
Ooh.
Which I guess means you'll be resistant to sunburn. I don't know. That makes sense in my brain anyway. So is there anything anyone would like to do before you enter the throne room today?
We go
are
back
all
over
under
names. Yeah.
seeming.
Oh.
Oh yeah, people want other names, don't they?
Yeah, Ursa's gonna have to remember 6 different names today.
I have them written down because I'm just as bad as he is,
Same.
and they are all Ursified names as
Okay,
well.
so do we want to go through the seeming/fake name situation for everybody then?
Sure.
Oh, Alex basically still looks like his normal human self, just all the minor details changed. And I think I told everyone to be going by Alois?
Alexis?
Alexis.
Alexis.
What I wrote down.
This is the thing, Alex has given out like
So many
straight up
names.
20 or
Just
30
all the
fake names to
seeming.
people. I lose track of them.
Any name beginning with A, he will answer to.
Yes, basically.
All right. Anyone else?
I am an Eladrin with really, really deep red hair, like Marky red hair.
Nice.
And we are going by the name Olmark today because I forgot what my original elf name was.
That's all good. Using different names is probably better for OPSEC anyway. Anyone else?
Ursa looks like a particularly gnarled orc.
Nice.
He like same as like the last game he was in, like chipped teeth, like bits missing from the ears, dressed a little bit nicer than the last time. Called Vardok.
Vardok. Okay. Hess, are you disguised?
Yes. Tess looks like a halfling with 2 red braids that are actually her ears folded down and sort of inverted.
Cute.
So yeah, she's probably not going to hear too good on this mission.
Cool.
Um,
Fianna?
Fianna has long brown hair kind of pulled into a side braid, and she's dressed in gold, browns, and whites. So she looks like she could kind of be Garen's little sister, and she
Right.
looks more like a monk than an actual ranger. I did post art in the outfit of the day, and she's going by Genevieve, but she'll also answer to like Jen. So
Okay. Cool.
and Tess is going by Sandra.
Sandra.
Yeah.
Is that a pun, Dave? Is
Yeah.
that a pun?
Well, for those that know her full name, it's the second half of her name.
Oh right. I thought you were doing a thing with sand. All right.
Because then
And
you die. I heard the threat in the "Is that a pun?"
it wasn't, but it is now.
That's why it's
I've heard
Sandra
that
and
exactly from Laura.
And
I
all of
was
a sudden we're
initially
fighting
thinking
a
Sandy,
dragon.
and then I went, "We're going to the desert. I can't get away with Sandy." All right, Sandra.
Rumi.
Rumi is going back to her high elf form, black hair back into braids that are crossed, golden eyes. She's a bit taller than Rumi actually is.
Does she look
Oh,
like
and
she used to look? Is that what you're doing there?
someone finally caught on. Yes. Yes. And her name is Termorn.
Okay. All right. So
Who's next?
you enter the throne room. The lady is wearing a like brownie orange dress that kind of shifts in the way that you would expect shifting sands to shift. It's very weird to look at, and if you look at it for too long, it'll probably give you a headache. And she says, "Hello, adventurers. Welcome. Today you are heading into the desert. I assume you have prepared accordingly."
As well as we can.
Excellent. These people you are going to help are quite insular. They don't interact with outsiders very often, so you might want to remember your manners. Manners will be important. And if you can convince them that they should perhaps offer you something in exchange for your aid, that would be delightful. Did you have any questions, or shall I just send you on your way?
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
First, do you know if we're going to run into any potential language barriers between us and these people that we're meeting?
I believe they speak common.
Excellent. Now, just as a formality on return to the realm, I'd like to avoid a situation from last time. If I have to cast the spell that I cast on Rumi last time, what's the process for handling that?
What spell are you talking about, Alex?
Trucing?
Oh, close your eyes when you come back.
That will be sufficient.
That will be sufficient. You simply do not look directly at the sun, do you? Again, Rumi, I am sorry about that. It's not something I have any control of. If you look, you see.
It's that is quite all right, my lady. And she is probably not quite looking, like eyes kind of downcast because of last time.
Yep.
So we'll sort of like slowly put his hand up quite nervously. Just
Yes.
Like, Purdy Lady of Sun, can you do anything to stop Sun hurting us?
Oh, while you're in the desert. That's a good question, and I don't know. Jax doesn't know the answer to that. I'm gonna say she
Like-
probably can because, like, it's her domain.
This is what I was thinking.
Yeah,
And-
I'm gonna roll for it. Hang on. Well, that's an 18, so I'm gonna say yes. She goes, actually, perhaps I can a little bit. And she kind of just waves her hand, and none of you feel any different, but you are now pretty much immune to any damage you would gain from the sun. So you will not get sunburnt, and you will not get heat stroke, and you will not get anything of that nature. However, it doesn't protect you against other forms of the same damage. It has to specifically come from... If someone casts Sunbeam at you, it'll protect you. But, yeah. Should help.
Well done, Ursa.
You don't feel... None of you feel any different.
He hasn't got the intelligence, but he is wise.
Alex right now is like, why didn't I think of that? God damn
We
it.
work for basically the literal sun. Maybe she can stop us getting burnt.
Yeah.
Yes, but also Ursa just asked for something from the lady, so that might be why none of us
He
did
did.
that before.
Yeah.
He did, but that's fine.
Ursa doesn't know any better. It's
No,
fine.
he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
We will see if she yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
she kind of looks at you for a long moment, and then she goes, "Freely given," which maybe Ursa doesn't understand, but other people in the
No,
party will.
he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He'll just smile sweetly and say thank you.
Anything else?
Are these wanderers known for any particular trade or any particular usefulness that we could leverage in exchange for our services?
Mostly keep to themselves, but they apparently have quite a lot of ability to control weather, avoid sandstorms, make storms go around them, that sort of thing. They have the ability to protect themselves against the place they live in, which is inhospitable, to say the least. If you could perhaps acquire some sort of trinket or knowledge of such magics, that is something that could be useful to us in the future. I'm not
Noted.
sure what to tell you to ask for because I'm not sure exactly what they have, but something along those lines is what my thought is. The ability to control a sandstorm in the desert is no small thing. Or at least to make it avoid you.
Marky
we-
will note that in his notebook.
How did we hear about them and or their problem?
I have agents everywhere, dear.
Okay.
And are we seeking
We
a
might have to come up
direct?
with a better.
Are we seeking a direct alliance with them as well, or just the knowledge of their magics?
My understanding is that they are not prone to make alliances with outsiders. I would be perfectly happy if you brought us back a item or a greater understanding of what it is they do. If they
Understood.
don't use items to do it.
One final question, my lady. The attacks we've heard have tended towards dusk. I'm just wondering if there's any particular time of day that we'll be in when we get there.
I
if we
was
can control that.
planning on having you arrive in the early morning, which would give you time to talk to them before dusk that day. However, in the desert, people frequently sleep in the afternoon, so if you would prefer perhaps an hour before dusk, that might work better. You tell me. It's easy. I can just... She kind of just makes an emotion that indicates timey-wimey.
Tess looks to the team. Do we want late afternoon?
Should avoid most of the heat.
Don't
Late
think heat's
afternoon,
a
then.
problem anymore.
Very well.
Thank you, my
Late
lady.
afternoon it is. Anything else? Very well. She claps her hands, and you all feel the tug of teleportation, and you find yourselves in a lot of sand. It is hot as fuck, and the even in the late afternoon, like it's clearly not the heat of the day, but it is still immediately much hotter than anything you're used to or have experienced. I think none of you are from the desert. Is that accurate? Yeah. So it is dry. It's like sticking your head in an oven. And it's unpleasant. It's not, those of you who are from jungles or humid places, it's not humid. It is like dry. Like you immediately feel all the moisture go out of your body. You can see maybe half a kilometer, I don't know what that is in American, away from you, you can see just the tops of some tents. So she's obviously put you down at enough of a distance to approach politely, but not so far that you won't be able to find them.
What color's the sands?
It is
And
that
fine.
like beach sand, light brown kind of sand.
Alex will change his glamored armor into being like sort of roby, that sort of color.
Ursa's just going to scoop up a handful of sand and put it into a little pouch and put it in his bag.
Okay.
Fianna just mumbles to herself, well, Crin's gonna be an experience.
Tess is going to do what she doesn't normally do and mount up on Brock,
Okay.
who is currently in camel form for the
Yes.
people playing at home.
He seems very comfortable. He's the only one out of all of you who seems happy right now. Maybe Umbra. Umbra's probably quite comfortable too, because Umbra's also in a form that suits this environment.
But she's just licking her lips, and she's used to the sand. She's used to the heat. She's not used to the being so dry.
All right. What do you want to do?
Are we going to these
Fianna
tents?
would also point out, I think we need to come up with a better story of how we know they're in trouble than just our employer has agents. Or maybe word it that way, but not from me, or there's something like that. Because if they're very insular, and we're, as someone who comes from a people who don't like outsiders, just walking up to them and offering help, they're gonna want to know why we're helping them. So we need to be like as honest as possible. I realize don't look like ourselves for reasons because we have to protect ourselves, but
They also may not like
just offering
in
an insular
walk.
people help.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So like we need to be very careful with how we present our help. We can't seem like we're trying to take too much from them. I don't know if that makes any sense,
The best thing we can
because
walk away
that'll just
from
make the
here,
problem worse.
the best thing we can walk away from here is with the information on how they're achieving what they're achieving. We do not want to take anything from them, and
No,
I have.
we
some
may not even want to
experience-
mention that at first.
No,
Maybe
I
observe
have some experience
more than ask.
working as a merchant, so we can be here trading.
I think the main thing is we need to be as honest as possible about what we can be honest about.
Yes.
And if there are cards that we
Yeah,
need
we
to
don't
play
want to
close
danger
to our chest,
ourselves, but
if there are cards that we need to play close to our
There-
chest, we can be honest about the fact that we have cards that we're keeping close to our chest. In some instances, I
they'll
trust
probably
that
expect that.
I think the merchant angle is probably the best one.
And
And
Alex,
then we can always say that we lost some other merchants to the dangers, perhaps, and that's how we know it exists.
not if we don't know anything about the dangers. We should keep to what's true. We don't have to share full truths, but we should make sure that we're not directly lying if we can help it. I trust Alex's ability
Exactly.
to wobble the truth enough, but
What will
seems like a situation where the truth should be sufficient.
Can I have a look around and see if there's any lookouts
Sure. Make a
or,
perception check.
what's in the environment? And so it begins. Today the tone has been set. A natural one.
Oh,
There is
well,
balance with the world. I am rolling dice again.
There is a lot of sand.
What ton of sand?
You see Ursa squatting down, making a sandcastle in the sand, and getting very disappointed that there's no moisture in the sand to hold it
Yeah,
together.
it does not. It just it doesn't
He's
stay
gonna keep
upright.
trying until we leave, though. Until we move, he's just gonna keep trying.
is
Amazing.
Alex going to say that he's looking for any lookouts? Would he like any assistance?
Oh,
Or,
you would have seen Alex just he said he's bit and then start turning his head and looking around
But he's looking the wrong way.
and just
Right.
not seeing shit.
Can we look the other way?
Right as a
Hey, I
gust
also
of
want to
sand.
look at the environment. It's just sand. It's all sand. Alex hates sand. It gets everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
Can we just make sure that we didn't
I was
just
waiting.
teleport into
I had to do it.
line of view of anyone who could have seen and then just completely screw up our plan?
I mean, the lady's smart enough to drop
Okay,
you
cool.
enough
Yeah.
of a distance away that that's not
Perfect.
going to be the case here.
Slay.
But she definitely is balancing that, because if she just drops you in the middle of the sand, you're never going to find them. You're going to wander around till
Oh.
you die.
Yeah. All these guys.
Or
Alex
until you
resembles
rust,
that.
whichever comes first.
Oh shit. Sand in my joints. Ugh.
Though,
Mm.
if you stood in a sandstorm, I reckon you'd get all your paint stripped. You'd just be shiny.
Oh yeah, I'd be like
Yeah.
shiny mithril, shiny adamantine for once.
Also,
Okay,
wouldn't
what are you doing? Standing around discussing
yeah.
Marky's
whether
shiny...
Marky would rust? Because he wouldn't. There's enough moisture. Let's go then, shall we?
Yeah, and towards the tents.
Okay. Let me show you what you're looking at. It's very beautiful. I would like you to know that this map is the reason that this game exists. Because I saw this and I was like, we need to use this map.
It
Um,
is.
Is it
How are we gonna use
high?
it? What are you using?
I have dropped you right at the entrance, but obviously you can proceed as you see fit. As you approach, you can see that it is a fairly sophisticated camp, but it also looks like it could be pulled up and moved at the drop of a hat if it needed to be. It's all tents. It's quite colorful. there are several camels roaming about the outside of the area. It is kind of late afternoon, so people are starting to make fires for dinner, that kind of thing. As you approach, you see a couple of people there were no lookouts as such, but a couple of people kind of approach you. They're all wearing very loose-fitting robes, but it covers almost their entire body. It like shows their eyes, and that's about it. Everything else is covered. But it's all very loose and flowy kind of stuff. And they approach and they say, "Hello. You are in the middle of nowhere and not dressed for the desert. What are you doing here?"
Hello, my friend. We are a group of traveling merchants. We mostly trade in water and other small supplies. We were hoping we could do some business and then be on our way.
Merchants from where?
You probably wouldn't believe me if I told you.
You're
but we're
right,
from a long
because
way
there
away.
is nothing for miles in every direction. That is why we are here.
Yes. Exactly.
And you
We're
have no wares that I can see? Where do you carry all this
Actually,
water?
Alex will pull out, shoulder his bag,
Mhm.
and just put his arm into his bag, and then just sort of keep reaching, because it's a bag of holding, and then
I see. Very
it's
well.
safer that way. And we're from not exactly around here.
I can
but-
tell.
Trade is still something that we believe is beneficial, and we'd like to see what we can do.
Well. Yes.
I was gonna say, while that's going on, can Fianna kind of like eye around and see what she notices, either like arcane items or just a general notice?
A
like-
perception, I guess, because you're not like looking. You're
Yeah.
just kind of having a glance.
Yeah, just looking around.
Hmm.
It's a 13 on the die, and then 21.
There's nothing obviously arcane, like out in the open. There are these kind of three tent. There's a big tent in the middle, and then two sort of off to the side that appear to be kind of three family groups. That's kind of the vibe you get. With little groups of people, kind of attached to each one. They appear to be getting ready for like an evening meal situation. There's no like big crystals in the fences or anything like that. Like there's nothing obviously arcane that you can see. This person says, "Well, being out in the desert at this time of day is dangerous. In the next hour or two, you are very likely to be eaten. So I suggest you come inside, though let me warn you that if you betray us, you will not leave safely."
No, absolutely not. Look, is there anything that we can do to put your mind at ease about that? Because that is certainly not our intention.
Well, we're about to make dinner. It is customary amongst our people that if you come for dinner, you bring something along. Do
I
you
can
have
create
anything
food.
like that? Don't you have a bag of
We
picnic?
had a
We
bag
do
of
have a
picnic.
bag. Oh yeah, we do have a bag of picnic.
Like, you can create food if you want. Use up those spell slots.
Marky holds out a bag of holding. Marky's still head to toe armored as well, and he goes, "We've got food."
I would
Very well.
also be totally fine with Marky doing that as well. Like,
It's fine. The food Marky creates is not tasty in the slightest. It's just nutrition.
Well, join us at our fires then. And they sort of lead you in.
And
Yes?
just quickly, Sandra's going to hop off Brock,
Okay.
and Brock's going to go for a wander. And Brock can understand Common, even though he can't speak.
Yep.
So he's just going to hang out near some people and see if he happens to
So
overhear
the-
anything.
The other
spy
camels are
camel.
kind of just on the edge, like they're not in the actual living area. They're like around the edges. So it would be pretty if you bring your camel into the living area. They're going to be like, "What are you doing, bro?"
Yeah.
Hanging
out. Like
Fianna will do the same with Umbra, because they're a little lizard. They can just
Okay. Yep.
send
Cool.
them out.
All right. So
Okay.
they invite you in. There are like two large. There's like one that is clearly a large cooking fire. The other one seems to be more a, family hearth kind of vibe. But most of the people, yes, the one whoever pinged the right one. Most of the people who are involved in cooking things seem to be around the bigger fire area. So, and that is where this person leads you to.
As we walk in with this person, I will
Mhm.
ask them, is there anyone in particular that we should address? Like,
We
as
are
we're unfamiliar, like, what's the social hierarchy
we are
structure?
a non-hierarchical society. We work
Excellent.
together. If we did not work together, we would all die.
Excellent.
So are you all related by blood, or are you a mix of families? How is it? How does that work?
Our people, they kind of gesture towards it and sit like they're about to give you a lecture on their culture now. And what they proceed to tell you is, they say, our people move in small groups because small groups work better in the desert. But once a year, on the shortest day, we all meet, and we spend a week together, and alliances are made, matches are made. Family groups are rearranged accordingly, and then we separate again.
Alex is
I am sure you're aware that intermarriage between family members is not ideal. So we avoid it in this way.
Very smart way to go about things.
This is fascinating. Just like out of my own curiosity, how long has this been going on? Like my family's been traveling merchants for 3 or 4 generations now, and that seems a much shorter time than what you're talking about.
As long as any of us know about. This desert has been here since the beginning of time, as far as we know. Our people have been here just as long.
Like Alex is playing it up a bit, but is genuinely like, wow, this is amazing. I want to know more, and was 100% focused on this person and trying to like guide the conversation to getting more information about the history of the place, and if any of these threats have come up, like getting some information that way.
How are you guiding? Explain to me what you're trying to. What are you trying to do here?
Alex is enthusiastically listening and asking specific questions, like
Make a charisma check for me, just to see how effectively you can make the thing go where you want it.
So I'm using my inspiration already because that was a 3.
Can Tess give him the help action as well, just by sort of
Sure.
backing up
can
and
roll.
also sort of asking questions?
Yep.
Okay,
That gives you advantage there.
how does 22 grab you?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so over the course of the evening, you talk to these people, and several of them come and go. They take food, they bring you food. It's decent food. Like they certainly accept your picnic stuff. I don't know what was in your picnic, but it's all shared around. Everything is very communal. There are a couple of children running around as well.
Oh,
You
there's
get the
ale specifically.
Oh, cool. You definitely get the impression that this is a very peaceful, well-established group of people. They have a rhythm that makes sense. They all seem to mostly get on okay. They talk about, for them, everything has always been like this way. So talking about the history is a bit, they're not very history focused. They're present focused people.
History is this happened yesterday, this happened 2,000 years ago.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
yeah,
all
because
the same.
it's the same things happening. Like nothing changes here. It's the same. And they talk about being able to, find the food they need from the plants and animals of the desert. They have learned to kind of coexist with the environment they're in. There is, when they start to talk about the dangers of the desert, one of them pulls out a little jar, and in the jar is a beetle. And it holds this beetle out to you, and it goes, "Looks innocent, doesn't it? This thing would kill you in a heartbeat. Our children are taught to bang their shoes out on the ground before they step into them in the morning. Because if you step on one of these, it will eat its way to your heart."
Oh,
Does it look poisonous?
that looks
It's not poisonous. It just finds its way.
Strong
Wow.
So the dangers of the desert are not always large and
Apparent.
terrifying. You must move lightly.
Through all this conversation, are these people human, elf?
They are always wrapped up, but they appear to be mostly humanish. You can't tell exactly because you can't
But-
see all their features, but
Yeah, but just from the general like mannerisms,
Yeah.
nothing jumps out as.
no, they seem humanoid. There are no like scaly skins or anything like that, or tiefling signs of it's Yes.
Do they stare at those of the group who are not human? Or do they just seem
No.
normal at... Okay.
They don't seem phased. Yeah.
They
They
seem phased.
also speak about snakes that are super venomous. They would speak about scorpions, but we'll gloss over that. The beetle was going to be a scorpion, but I changed it. They speak about lizards with venomous teeth. All the sort of creatures you would expect to live in a desert. And then one of the children comes running over and tugs on one of the grown-ups, and goes, "You should tell them about the big one." And the grown-up goes, "Shh, shh."
The big one.
I'll
Rumi
just, like,
is gonna pull out a bag. She has a whole bunch of chocolate coins from Scrat,
Yeah.
and like offer it to the kids, to any of the kids that are around.
Melty.
Or before they take it, stop and look at a grown-up for permission. And when the grown-up nods, then they run over and like,
I'm like, Alex is like, the big one?
"Ah, yes. Something has been, well, several of our camels have gone missing, and we lost a man."
That is terrible.
Yes.
For your society, that must be a terrible and tragic loss. We're terribly sorry for this to have occurred to you.
Yes. It is bad and unprecedented, which around here is strange. We know most things. This is new.
Were there any tracks or signs of what might have disappeared them, or did they just vanish?
We have these things here. You may have heard of them. They are little bugs that make a funnel and then stay at the bottom of the funnel and wait for ants to fall in, and then they eat them. Have you ever encountered such a
Okay.
thing?
Something similar.
I have not, but I've
There was
read of
such
them.
a funnel left, but it was immense.
Ew.
And then the
Okay.
winds removed it, as they do so many things.
Can any of us make an animal handling check to see if we know
You can make a nature check.
nature?
Oh, let's do the nature
Okay.
checks.
Alex
No.
will definitely be in on this because he's read that book.
23.
Oh, that...
22.
Glad I have advantage on that.
We have a 23.
And a 22.
You
I have a
So
dirty
it's
20.
22 off a nat 20. Oh, wait, no, there's more, possibly. Hold on.
It's fine. There are enough of you who have high numbers. You
25.
definitely are familiar with something like what this person is describing. on a small scale, like you would have encountered these creatures. These are real creatures, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but they live in Africa. They probably live in Australia too, because
Yeah.
everything bad lives in
Yep.
Australia.
Yeah.
But we used to drop things into them as kids. Anyway,
Yeah.
um,
And like,
so you would be familiar with something like this, but you would also know that if something comes up out of the ground in the desert and then disappears, it's likely to leave something like that. That would then be. So it may not be a giant version of this particular creature, but it may just be something coming, and then in the way that if something did that in water, it would leave a.
cavitation.
Funnel.
At the mention of that, Tess is going to put her hands together in front of her face and just sort of make sort of a praying motion, but she's pointing a finger towards Alex, and she's going to cast message. And just say, now might be a good time to mention the fact that you are the merchant and we are the mercenaries.
Speak for yourself.
That was literally what Alex was going to say next. It was like, hold on. Yeah, so when Fianna asked her the question, I was going to say, yes, this is my friend who we work with. She handles security and environmental issues. I hope you don't mind them asking. We just like to know more things about the places we're in and things that we may encounter in the future.
That's fine. We have no problem with questions.
Excellent.
Questions are how you stay alive.
We've encountered people before that can be prickly about these things, and I'm sure you understand. We don't want to step on any toes.
I see no reason why we would hide the fact of these giant beasts from you. We're not sure what exactly they are because they left very little behind to investigate. We are not fighters. When we understand them better, then we will learn to live with him. Or it. May just be one, not sure.
The impression you and your people are very insular. I know communities that are not, that sometimes rubs them the wrong way. Do you have any enemies that might set whatever creature it might be on you to cause you problems?
Our people are the only people who live here. No one else can. Some try, they come, with all respect, they come into the space, but they tread too hard on the ground, and they upset the balance, and the desert takes them.
What of the other small groups that may target? Would any have reason to target this group specifically?
I do not think so. We are mostly a peaceful nation. We have disagreements, of course, as all people do, but we work through them. If we went around killing each other, we wouldn't last very long. Everything else is trying to kill us, so we, avoid doing it to each other.
That is very true.
Like, Ursa's just gonna look confused at them and just like lean forwards and like, so not walk like tiptoe?
I speak metaphorically. Although
Oh.
it is a good idea to walk literally lightly in the desert too, as sometimes the sand will take you, or creatures will come when they hear you coming. But I speak
Okay.
more that you move through the world lightly. Take what you need.
Don't
Leave the
take
rest.
more.
Indeed.
Random question. Do you worship any gods here?
We have stories of gods, but we do not worship as such, no.
Just
You get the
personal
vibe that these are
curiosity.
very pragmatic people. These are people who live in an extremely vicious environment, and so they've become extremely pragmatic about it. They know exactly how to survive because they've been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years. So the people who have survived are the ones who really get it. So things like worshipping gods that are not that helpful, not really a thing for them. They're like, nah, we're just going to know which cactus to cut open. Thanks.
But also says that their power doesn't come from a god then. So
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And the fact that this big one is new by
It's very,
itself is strange.
Weird. Yeah. And they do seem disturbed by that fact, although they are very like chill, calm humans. They
It's very
seem
much
quite,
a,
but there's an element of like this is a little weird.
that's new. Probably should figure out what the go is with that. So
Pretty
we can
much,
avoid
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's the
Rather
vibe.
than that's new. Let's throw a pile of bodies at it until it's dead,
Yeah.
or scream, run away, and then we're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it's very much a well. I guess this is a thing we have to deal with now too. We'll just have to figure out how to do that.
Tuesdays, they'll get you, man.
Did anything out of the normal happen shortly before these disappearances started? Like other strangers coming or animals
the-
acting strange?
You are the first strangers we have seen in many years.
Well, then I thank you for your hospitality. If we're the first strangers that you have seen in years, you are far, far better and kind of people than people that I have known in my life. Thank you.
We simply wish to survive. I'm sure you have brought food, and that helps us.
At this point, Ursa's going to reach into his bag and pull out one of the giant kegs that he's got in there and just go around and offer water to everyone.
This is like you're offering 300-year-old whiskey. Like, that is how they react to this. Just water in a barrel like that is like...
Yeah, I'm just going to, like he does in the tavern, he's just going to take his claws, dig them into the top, and pull it off, and just go around.
This is... Like, the children come crowding around like you're offering... They're much more excited about this than they were about the chocolate. Like, it's huge. Because they're used to pulling out liquid from whatever they can find, and it's very seldom just, here's a barrel of water! Like, that's not... Yeah.
Like... We're not strange now, we friends.
Yes, you bring water. That is extremely precious. We have Omari has a jug, which makes liquids, and that has kept many of us alive for a long time.
Alex will bake a oh, you're giving away our wares. Like I was planning on selling that, but doesn't actually care.
If you've heard of alchemy jugs, would absolutely recognize that that's probably what this guy has, and it's like a prized possession.
We have one with us.
Did you say that in character?
Yeah.
No. Sorry.
Okay. Just clarifying.
So Alex really sold that. He rolled a 28 on deception.
Nice.
Just
They're too excited about the water. They're just like, cool.
And Ursa doesn't care. Ursa's making friends.
Well, you are welcome
How are
to...
Umbra? Oh.
What? Oh, sorry. How are Umbra and Brock doing?
But I'll wait.
I mean, everybody's kind of around there. Make a, I guess, perception check, each of you, for your familiars, to see if they're overhearing anything interesting. Does Brock speak camel?
Well, Brock is a camel at the moment. It doesn't say anything particularly in fine steed about.
And he communicates with other animals of his kind. Unclear?
I think what we've said in the past is that they can communicate basic emotions and
Right.
basic ideas with other camels. But in terms of what he can pick up, he's not super wise. So that's a 7 on perception. But in true Indigo fashion, his passive perception is 9. So that'll make a big difference, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, nah, he doesn't really hear much. He's distracted by the other camels. How's Umbra done?
So, Umbra is like listening, but also kind of like crawling into places, mainly like the big tents that they're not at, to kind of see what they can see. And they rolled a natural 20.
Nice. Okay. Umbra does hear a couple of kind of hushed conversations of other people, not because they're keeping it secret, but it's like a conversation about how everyone needs to be within the fence by the time dusk comes. Maybe we should bring the camels in too. Oh, they stink up the place. Yes, but better to have stinky camels than no camels. You know, that kind of vibe. There's definitely a sense of nervousness about what happens at dusk.
Do they hear or notice anything pertinent to the information we were sent for? Because that's what Fianna would have sent Umbra mainly for.
No,
But no,
not at
okay.
this stage, no.
Have we basically got information we want?
Apart from where the thingy is.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, how
And-
they've actually survived. They specifically called out they've survived this long. They haven't really shared how.
Nope, they
Yeah.
haven't.
Slash, we haven't like approached the idea of making a deal. Like, hey, we'll go check out this thing for you if
I think we have enough information to do that now.
I
Yeah.
also think that we should. I mean, these people aren't fair, so I mean, they might not be offended if we go and help them first, and then ask for like payback later. I think that seems relatively.
They won't be offended, but
reasonable.
it's not a very
No.
strong negotiating tactic.
yeah, it's
No,
a bad
but-
negotiation. Why would they pay us when we've already done the thing?
But for such an insular sort of community, it might be a little bit offensive to just sort of appear out of essentially nowhere and be like, "Hey, okay, you've told us this, this, and this. We'll go fix it if you tell us more." You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure the straightforward people would like the straightforward approach. Like,
Still sitting around a fire with all these people,
Yes.
so I'm assuming you're
Yeah.
not having this conversation out loud.
Oh
No.
no.
Um,
By now it's starting to get a little bit darker. And one of them looks up and goes, "Night falls fast here. We should prepare for the evening. Forgive us, we have work to do." And several of them get up and wander off, and they do bring the camels inside the fence line. Although there is some muttering about it, like this is not their usual process, but they're trying to protect these creatures. And they say, you may of course stay the night, although we don't have much to offer in the way of sleeping arrangements. I'm sure we can vacate one of the tents if that would be
No.
helpful.
that is perfectly
can-
fine.
I can take care of it.
Okay. I wouldn't advise you to go out in the night. Perhaps at dawn is the best time to travel.
Is that because that's where this new threat is coming from?
Well, dusk is a dangerous time in the desert anyway. That's when things hunt. But yes, it appears to also come out at that time of day.
It may be a little bit forward of me, and I don't want to cause any issues, so I'll take your guidance in this. But my traveling companions are very good at providing me with security. Would we possibly deal with this problem for you in exchange for additional information and possible
Well,
other trade?
I mean, if you feel you're capable of it, this is not some band of bandits. This is something large and dangerous.
But we would definitely be looking at the threat first before we attempted to
Right.
intervene.
And what would you want in exchange? We don't have a lot. We have just what we need.
Well, yes, I understand that. First of all, we'd be looking at trade in any interesting items that you have. I do have more water to trade with you if you would like. And mostly just information about this place and how you survive out here. I can't imagine that this environment is very hospitable all the time. Like, we seem to have struck some amazing weather.
It is
all friends
very
means friendship.
it is very hot. We have found ways to avoid that. As you see, we dress to protect ourselves from sand. And we have certain ways of avoiding the worst.
Perhaps if we are able to deal with this issue, you'll be able to explain further those
Of course.
methods.
Our knowledge is not secret. We have no need to keep it from anyone.
I think that would be very beneficial for myself in trade, and I would like to help you with the continuing of the way of life that you are most accustomed to. This new threat that you have seemed to have come across, in my experiences in other trading places, this has happened before, and it's probably not from around here. And
What do you mean by around here? There is nothing but desert. For a very long way. Where do you suggest it came from?
I'm suggesting that it possibly have come here via magical means, of which
Oh.
is a threat that needs to be dealt with, and normally I wouldn't like to step into these things, but I have encountered this before, and it has caused very big problems for my trading and people that I have traded with in the past, and I would not like that to occur to you.
Very well. Well, if you can deal with this, we would be grateful and happy to help you understand what we know as much as we can.
Thank you. We'll just step aside and leave you to your preparations. Thank you.
Very well. Yep,
There
they
is-
bustle about doing their thing.
Is there a direction where this large creature was last seen, or we might expect to find them again?
It has appeared around the camp. There is no particular direction. It does not come on the surface.
Well,
We might have to play lookout.
Mhm.
we can
Or-
technically Rumi and I can summon bait. I don't know if it'll take it.
Or we
It's
could
not a
just
camel.
be really loud and be bait.
We have our
I
own
mean,
camel.
yes, this
as
is
well.
still an option.
One of them kind of puts their hand up and goes,
But
if you're going to summon this creature, would you mind taking it to distance away from the camp?
Oh,
Yes.
no, that's,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Absolutely.
absolutely going to happen.
Excellent.
Yeah,
We do
no,
not want this
yes.
anywhere near you or your people at all.
If you find yourselves out of sight of the tents, one moment, and one of them disappears off into one of the tents and comes back out and hands you 3 kind of balls that look like eggs, and he says, simply fling it into the air as high as you can, and it will explode, and then we can come and find you. It's essentially a fantasy flare.
How much light, like campfire light and stuff, is in this camp?
A fair
it
amount.
That's also true. Okay.
There are torches and things like it's not actually quite dusk yet. Like it's getting darker, but it's not dark yet.
Are there any embellishments to these tents or anything that are small enough that Marky could take? Because they can just teleport the party back here if all things go awry. I just
there
need
are-
something. To
There
sort
are
of-
various like flags and scarves and things tied to little
Mm.
cushions.
Would the eggs
It's
work?
quite lush. Like the colors are very bright, and having what they've just said implies that the reason the colors are bright are so that it's easy to find when you go off and come back.
May I take one of these flags so if we get lost, I can just teleport us back here?
You can do that.
They sort of dink their helmet, which sort of has like embellishments.
Exactly
that-
their head.
That is an excellent trick, which I would love to learn. Yes, absolutely. You may take one.
I may look like a mercenary, but I have my traits as well.
They look like they don't know what a mercenary looks like.
Well, Marky is head to toe in plate armor. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, out of everyone in this party, they probably look like the worst prepared.
These I mean they're being very polite, but there is a little bit of judgment of the way you're all dressed. Like they're like, what the fuck are these people doing?
That does
Are they
appear to be in
trying to
loose
die?
robe.
Alex will
Yeah.
reach into his bag and pull out his broom of flying
Mhm.
and go, guys, I'll just be back in couple of minutes. I'm just gonna have a quick zip around and go up.
Okay. What are you looking for?
I'm just basically gonna get on my broom and go straight up to see if there's any other light sources around. So if I
Okay.
have to navigate back to this place, I
Right.
know how far up I need to go to see the
Gotcha.
light too.
Cool.
Also,
Make
keep an eye out for Sarlacc pits.
perception check, please.
Noted.
Yeah,
Sandra's
that's
gonna help.
essentially what they were describing.
Yeah,
That's what I was
I'm not
getting.
getting bothered. I know how this is.
I was 100% basing it on the actual animal because I grew up with those, but yeah,
Uh,
that is essentially what
it's
they
a
were
Sarlacc.
describing.
modified 20.
Sorry, how much?
Modified 20.
There are no other lights that you can see. You can see at a bit of a distance from where you are what looks like a oasis, a very small oasis. Otherwise it's just sand dunes in every direction.
Alex will come back down, land, and go. Hey guys, there's like nothing out there. I think there's an oasis.
Yes,
whoa.
there is an oasis, but you should avoid it.
Oh.
Why is bad things at Oasis thing?
No, oases are quite useful, but that particular one is home to the mystics.
What's wrong with sticks?
Mystics?
Yes, the mystics.
You've got mystics.
Why do you avoid them, if I may ask?
Well, we occasionally visit them for information if we need to, but they are cryptic and confusing, and their guards are extremely violent. So we only go there under great duress. We have spoken of sending an envoy to talk about this thing, but if you deal with that, then we shall be able to avoid that eventuality, which would be great.
Okay. Do they hold an allegiance to anyone, or are they part of your people?
They are their own thing. Tess?
While this conversation is happening, Tess is helping bring everything in and
Okay.
doing the helping wherever she can. And if there's any kids running around, she's pulling funny faces at them.
There are a couple of kids. Like, there's not a lot. There's maybe 3 or 4 kids. Yeah. Like what you would expect from 3 family groups. It's not a huge. Yeah.
I'll ask her question later. Cool.
Right. Well, what is your plan? Do you plan to go out into the desert? What do you wish to do?
I guess we can.
We're certainly going to have to, because we do not want this thing coming.
don't wanna do it near the
anywhere
camp.
This camp.
No.
How many creatures can you guys summon?
I would recommend summoning the crab folk or the hulking crabs, which I can do 3 crab folk or 2 hulking crabs, and Rumi can as well. I would say do them
Ursa
all at
can-
once, so we have like a backup.
Ursa can as well, but it's a bit dicey.
I can maybe.
I don't think we'll need that many,
I
because I would only send one of the crabs out at a time, or maybe
Yeah.
like position them around, and I'll know when they get eaten.
I have a bit of a crazy plan.
Oh, I love
but
those.
Oh dear.
Are
Marky has all of his poison on him. If we send one crab out and confirm the existence of this creature, we could put all the poison on this second crab, and this, whatever the hell it is, just eats poisoned crab for dinner and just takes a whole bunch of poison damage, maybe?
Or we could split it between the 3, and then it just gets poisoned no matter which one
Yeah.
it eats.
Because I have enough of different kinds of poisons. Like I have purple worm poison, I have serpent poison, I have crawler mucus. Like
Oh, that stuff.
So
One thing-
if we poison it, won't it run away?
I mean, if we're close enough, I mean, it might get pissed off
If
and
it
try
eats
and
the
find.
crawler mucus, it'll probably get paralyzed and it'll be stuck.
Yeah. And I
Tess
have
will ask if
3 jars of them.
Tess will ask the people that know about the smaller version of the creature if it deals any poison when things fall in, because things that deal poison in Tess's
Tend to be
experience are immune to poison.
That's
Um,
fair.
Do you mean the little insect?
The little version, yeah, the small one that
Yes,
we're kind of
It
all
has
familiar
venom of a kind. We don't know if it's the same thing grown though.
with.
But it does have a venom. The smaller insects fall into the pit and then get bitten and dragged down. And we understand it has
Well.
venom, though not enough to damage a person.
So the poison thing might not actually work.
Well,
If it's the same thing.
it might work. It could be worth a shot. The other thing too is, something of this size, if we are able to kill it, could
Probably quite
provide a lot of food and resources for these people. And if we poison it, then we have less to work with in that front.
Funny you should mention that, because I
true.
can also purify food and water.
Yeah.
I prepared
So can Fianna.
for this
Yeah.
whole desert experience. I was like, I'm gonna take create, I'm gonna take purify.
If we step away from all the listening ears, Rumi will bring up, are we 100% sure these are the people we're supposed to be dealing with? Because we were told the people we are to be dealing with deal in strange mystic knowledge. And mystics fit that description, but these people may not.
I have a lot of questions about these mystics.
But it also
But do we
sounds
think
like
the lady would
they,
put us beside the wrong group? We were closer to this group, if I remember correctly.
And there's also the question about whether or not these mystics who live in the Oasis live there permanently or not. Because the lady did say, that we were after wanderers, travelers. And it sounds like they're permanently sat at this Oasis.
I don't like the DM smile that we're getting right now.
Laughing at chat. Well, Tim's like,
okay.
I saw that
I mean-
tiny smirk on Jax's face. You're onto something, and I'm like, Jax just likes it when her players think, even if they're wrong. Doesn't matter.
I'm curious about the mystics, but we also only have so many hours of dusk/night.
We should deal with the creature, and then if
We'll go
the
talk.
answers that we get from these wanderers
Are not sufficient.
are not
then
sufficient,
I
we
ask
can-
some pointed questions about some mystics, of which I do not believe we're going to get answers on right now, because these
We
people
don't ask the
seem
questions.
to really not want to talk about them.
I mean, we could probably go to the mystics first, because
we don't have time. We're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna
time
miss
is
the
gonna be
window.
No,
Yeah.
no, I mean, like, after we kill
Yes.
the creature, we can go to the mystics first.
Well,
Then
we
just
could-
teleport back.
I think avoid the mystics if we can, because the
I
information
wonder
we need may be
if there's
provided
a
freely.
chance that these mystics are magical, capable people who were with these people that were casted out.
It's
That's a
possible.
possibility.
So I say we don't forget them,
Mm.
but they shouldn't be our first priority. Should see what we can do tonight. If we don't
that's
catch
good.
anything tonight, we can go see the mystics while we wait for dusk again.
Yeah, let's put a pin in the mystics and come back to them.
Done.
Somewhere, Mystics like,
Literally.
someone's got a voodoo doll of me.
To-do list. Kill Sandworm. Negotiate for more
They're all
information.
sneezing.
Go talk to some mystics. Don't die?
No,
Yeah,
don't die
bottom
is
of the
the
list.
first one.
So, what are we doing?
Summoning bait?
Well,
Are
we
we
need to
gonna
move
go with
out.
that?
We need to move out.
Okay.
Let's yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
a
if
decent
you
way
are
away.
moving out, let me give you some dunes to work with. Please hold, caller.
I
I would
will.
suggest
I'm gonna recast Water Walk on everybody because that's long gone by now. So I'll ritually cast
with
that.
long strider.
As
Oh,
you're doing that, Alex will cast Detect Magic and just see if anything pings as he's walking out of this camp.
If you're ritually casting water walk, I'll ritually cast water breathing, just in case.
Yep.
Alex, Your detect magic, how far does it go?
Oh,
It's like
30
30 feet.
feet.
Is that the 30
30.
feet one? Yep.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same as the normal one.
And you're
Tess has got a
doing it
30
as
foot aura
you
to give a
walk
general
out
idea.
of the camp.
Yeah,
Correct.
so as much of the camp as I can get is we're sort of moving out.
Okay. You get a ping of something in the big tent, and you get a couple of pings of things in a couple of the other tents. They definitely have a few magic items. It's not like the whole place is wreathed in magic, but there's definitely a couple of magic things. They've already told you they have an alchemy jug, so
Alchemy
it's not
jug,
that
yeah.
surprising. Yeah. They have a few things.
Marky will ask Alex if he is detecting any sort of magical protections, specifically any abjuration or any sort of weather-based.
There's
magic.
nothing abjuration-y. Please hold while I look at my cheat sheet.
That's
I
right.
think weather-based might be transmutation. I think.
The alchemy jug's transmutation.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
know
so
where
that
the
would
alchemy
be transmutation. You probably get a couple of enchantment things. Maybe divination.
Cool. So because I'm aware of what an alchemy jug is that not in the big tent?
The transmutation is not in the big tent, no. It's in one of the smaller ones.
Cool. That's just note in the back of his brain.
Alrighty. So,
Rock says goodbye to the camel that he's been hanging out with.
The lady
He
camel.
comes over to join the group.
here are some
Fianna
sand
will
dunes
actually
for you to
leave
play on.
Umbra to wander.
Okay.
Umbra stays in the camp.
Cool.
He hears them going, haha, we fooled them.
How do you give orders to Umbra? Is it telepathically or?
I can do it verbally or telepathically. I mean, I assume we walk more than 100 feet away, so I can't do it from here.
I was
What-
saying, as we're going,
What
I would
kind of orders?
I would
Yeah.
be communicating across to you that there's something super magical in that big ass tent. Can you
Get eyes on it.
as we're leaving? Super cautious.
He would. They would go check out the bigger tent again while we're gone.
If they're just looking around, it's going to be the same. Like, they're not going to see anything obvious. This is not something
Okay.
that's just left out on a table.
Well, I guess just get like a
Yeah.
know, a bigger look.
It's
I don't know,
nice.
but they're
It's-
still gonna wander around because they're not a battle companion.
Okay.
They
So-
can be if they want.
You come out onto the dunes.
They're an emotional support familiar.
No. Dusk is starting to sink in. There is a distinct increase of insects as it gets cooler.
Slay.
The Australians are like, yeah, there is. They know what I'm talking about.
They,
Probably the
Poor
Floridians
guys,
as well.
like-
Yeah.
I feel bad for the insects that try to drink from Marky, but find out that they're actually hard.
You also see little
they
like
land on Marky and just burn off because Marky's like
puffs.
80 degrees right now because he's just been baked by the sun.
You see little like puffs of sand that appear to be some kind of like spinning elemental creature. Like you kind of see them around. They're not interfering with you. They're not fucking around with you, but they're just kind of obviously appearing at dusk. You make a perception check for me, everyone.
Can we also assume that the plants on the map are an indication as to how much plant life is on the dunes? In
Sure.
general?
Yep,
Cool.
there is some, but not a lot. Is the short answer.
As it gets darker, Fianna will use her wand of see invisibility on Tess/Brock, and then on Rumi.
Okay.
For the moment, so you both can see her no matter how dark it gets.
22 on the perception.
26.
Oh,
24.
Same.
Okay. Anyone over 20, you will see also some like weird creatures kind of walking along the dunes. They're maybe the size of a large dog. They have really long, skinny legs. They kind of look a bit like hyenas, but they're also a bit different. They seem to be hooved. They're very weird. They kind of look at you, and you can almost see them do the calculation and realize that this is not prey worth chasing. This is going to be more trouble than it's worth. And they carry on. But there is quite a lot of life, is what I'm getting at, on these dunes at this time of day. What before was just empty desert when you first showed up is now waking up as it gets cooler. And I say it gets cooler. It's not cool though. It's still very hot, but it's just not as stiflingly awful as it was earlier in the day.
So we're not hitting dangerous cold desert vibes.
No. This is desert the way I experienced it in the Emirates, which is that story about cold deserts is some bullshit. I know it happens in some deserts, but not this one.
Not this one.
Yeah, it gets cold. It got down to like 25 degrees, right?
Probably like 30 still.
That's Celsius for
Cold.
people playing
Yep.
at home.
Sorry,
Yep,
brain's
it's
not
not-
processing that heat.
It's dropped
Still like
from
100.
50 to 30 is what's happened. Like,
Like,
that's
Yeah,
the
so it's
difference.
still, like,
It's
it
not...
got- it got
80
cold.
Fahrenheit.
Those
Chump
temperatures
change
don't
for us
exist.
down under.
Not in the middle of the night, it's not.
So all those stories about deserts that get cold, there are deserts that get cold at night. This isn't one of those.
No, it's
It
not.
just gets mildly more bearable than previously.
But it feels weirdly comfortable. Like, oh, it's pitch black, and oh, this is really comfortable. Oh, it's
Yep.
30 degrees.
Yep, but it's like 20 degrees cooler than it was, so it feels cooler. Just not actually cold. And as dusk begins to fall, and the animals come out, and the insects start to bite you, we're going to take a break. Because I imagine shit's going to kick off very shortly. So, Tiffiny. You're doing a thing.
I have 2 more coasters. So I'm going to show both of them this time. I have a black dragon scale one,
So cool.
and then I have this one that's got like in my light. It's got like it's gray fabric with like a book and a sword, so like D&D inventory. And then
Awesome.
the rim of this one glows in a greenish color when you turn out the lights.
Awesome. Those are very,
So-
very cool.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like Alex has won the slippery saddle, so I'm
Ooh.
guessing that's going to be Andy. And yeah, I think Adam's going to do some marbles during the race, during the break, to see who gets to get Tiffany's beautiful coasters. Don't go anywhere. Stay where you are. I suppose you're allowed to go to the bathroom if you really must. And
Getting more tea.
we will be back in 10-15 minutes to see what comes out of the stand. Love you guys. See you shortly. Hello, humans of the internet. Welcome back to the Gallant Horde. We are playing Wanderers in the Wastelands. Our party have met said wanderers, have had a chat and a nice meal, and now they are in the middle of the desert at dusk, and the desert is coming to life. All the animals are coming out, the bugs are coming out, and I guess they're planning on laying a trap for this creature. Yeah. What do you want to do? You're in the desert. What do you also congrats, Jackie, on winning some coasters. Right. What do you want to do?
Does anybody want any light? The cleric leveled up and has an extra cantrip, so I have light now if we need it.
We all have dark vision, I
Dark
think.
vision.
Yeah.
Does everyone?
I do.
It was
I don't.
offered to everyone, so if you wanted it, you
Okay. No, I
Yeah.
have it naturally. I just wasn't sure.
Warlock.
Tess is also going to pull out a water skin, put her bead over it, and turn it into ale, and see if anybody would like some poison resistance.
I think you can only give one
That's
person
on
poison
Val.
resistance
Yes.
with that.
Yes, one.
Okay.
But we've
Yes.
got 3 people that have the
Um,
same boon, so
You
I
can
was
give
gonna
it to
say
someone
Fianna
else, but
will-
it'll only be good for
Oh,
one
can
person.
you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'd like to point out Ursa is going to be up in its face.
Yes.
So,
so would
yes,
you like some ale? Yep.
please. Yes, please.
Who else is going to be up in the face? Because I'm going to stay back. If I can.
Fianna will
Okay.
do her own.
Okay.
So Fianna has that boon and we'll use hers. So you can give it to
Tess is immune
Tess,
to poison,
probably
apparently.
because... Oh, well, then.
Paladin. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually because of
I
the little
already have
bracelet that
some
she got.
resistance.
You already have resistance?
I don't
Ah.
have anything, but I'm not going to be close to this thing
Okay.
in any way, shape, or form.
I'll. Well, just a second. Let me
You
see.
hit
Just
yourself?
because I can, but I can also cure poison. So I just want to see what Luster
Oh.
Restoration is. If it's touch or not. It
It
is touch,
is
so
touch.
you should take it.
If we do need lesser restoration, I do have Whisper to channel touch attacks through. So we do have a bit of a.
That can also
Alright.
lay on hands for that effect.
So
let-
clarification
yeah.
for Jax. Who has poison resistance now?
I think everybody but me.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm
Tess has
drinking
immunity.
a pint, so Alex is never going to turn down a pint.
Cool. Carry on. I just wanted to know in my brain.
Alrighty, Marky
Okay.
will flag.
Since
Oh, sorry.
you can go.
Oh, I
I'll-
was
I'll do-
gonna
I'll wait.
say, if everybody is permitting, Marky will try and speak to some of these plants. Look for a nice-looking cactus. Yeah, probably
Okay.
that
Yeah,
nice
there's a-
round one.
Yep.
And holding a little small bead with an image of, I think it's a leaf. Yeah, a jungle leaf. I'm gonna cast Speak with Plants with this small round prickly
Cool.
cactus.
What are you saying to the cactus?
Marky will squat, like scav squat. Slav squat rather. And go, hello, round friend. Can you understand me?
What is happening? What is happening?
I am a magical elf person, and I have given you the power of speech.
Whoa! That's cool.
It is very cool.
Yes.
How is your night
You're-
so far?
Really funny looking. Oh,
Um,
I probably shouldn't just say that like that. Hey, that's not very good manners.
oh, it's fine. I look a lot better without the helmet on. Marky will take off the helmet and like fluff out like L'Oreal Paris.
You're
'cause
having
you're-
a Jean-Luc moment, yes.
Yeah, maybe they're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
What is that? Your spikes are very strange. They don't seem like they would stop anything from eating your head.
Oh, it's fine. The metal stops it from. I'm actually. Well, this armor stops things from eating my head.
Oh.
It's made out of adamantine. It's very.
It's not as
hard.
good as spikes. You should put some spikes on it.
I will put spikes on it. That's very. I'll make it look nice and optimized.
Excellent.
I like the way Tess and Ursa and I are just like, yeah, Marky with spikes. Enough of this.
Do you mind if I call you Spiky? That sounds like a nice name for someone like you.
Sounds like a descriptor, but sure.
Would you like any other name?
I don't know about names. I just sit
Um,
here. It's very sandy. Have you noticed how sandy it is?
It's very sandy. It's getting
Sometimes
into...
I think about what it would be like to live in a place without so much sand.
Buggy
Hey.
sort of looks to the others like, can we keep him? I have been known to take
Ursa now
some
has an
times.
empty barrel. Like we can put some sand in the barrel and like transplant him in a barrel.
Titania has a rule against animals and creatures, but I don't think
But
we have a
it's
rule
fun.
against plants.
Like I have an empty barrel.
This is
But
what
Tanya,
Alex
you
is
have
I
to
doing.
worry
I
about.
also have a bucket.
If Alex is if Marky is actually asking, then Tess will say no.
Have you
It-
heard or
yeah,
felt
no.
anything in these sands, friend?
Many
Like something
things.
big?
We
Anything-
have lots of ants.
Mm,
We have beetles. Lots of beetles.
mm.
We have things that fly around. There are
Mm.
some big things that fly around. Sometimes. Not often. Sometimes.
Mm.
Usually when something dies, they come.
Ah, vultures.
Things die a lot.
Has there been anything big under the ground burrowing recently?
Yes.
Not just for things.
I had a friend. It was also Spiky. Maybe it was that his name would have been also Spiky. He's gone now.
Oh.
Big thing came up. Hole in the ground. Also, Spiky disappeared. Hole went away after some time.
Did it? Was there someone? Was there a creature like me with other Spiky, or did it just eat Spiky?
Much bigger than you.
Much bigger.
Much bigger than you.
Oh, does it come around here often?
Sometimes.
Mm.
What is often to a cactus?
True, that is very true. How many? Does it appear more than once in any given night? Sort of
Sometimes.
around you. Okay. Many teeth?
Teeth are the spikes inside the hole.
Yes.
Yes. Teeth.
Yes.
Yes.
Very round, sort of like your tall spiky friends?
What?
Is it sort of like long shaped?
Oh. Yeah. But bigger
Mm.
than tall spiky over there.
Any eyes? Any like Marky sort of points to their own eye.
Didn't notice that, no.
Any color?
The color of the flowers.
Marky looks around for the flowers. Is there any
Make a perception check.
That is 18 plus.
Some things. Yeah, there are some purple flowers.
Well, Marky has purple worm venom.
Yep.
Marky.
Marky can make a nature check.
Yeah.
If he wants.
Just a standard roll, or
A nature check. Yes, a standard nature check. Marky has like plus 1,000,000 to his int, so I'm not giving you anything
yeah,
extra.
true. That's a 22.
Yeah, you've definitely heard of purple worms.
Marky in his elven form sort of pales a little bit as they're becoming more emotive. And he will just say, Thank you, Spiky.
No problem.
That is all we need to know.
Are you thirsty?
Oh, no, I don't drink.
Oh, that's weird, but okay.
I also don't eat, for the record.
Also weird, although less
Yeah.
weird. We
Yeah.
also don't really eat. Although
I'm-
sometimes, carnivore Spiky over there sometimes eats bugs.
Oh, that's really... Oh, I have spiky friends that do that in my
Not me.
home.
Bugs are gross.
They are a little bit gross, but bugs don't bother me. I probably notices more bugs sort of landing than just fizzling. Yeah. Thank you, Spiky. I'm going to go deal with this purple worm. They sort of say louder for the
luck
party
with
to
that.
hear.
Everyone make a perception check. Because dusk has fallen now.
Good.
So Alex sees sand.
Oh,
Turns out
and-
Alex's
yep.
favorite terrain,
Yeah.
not deserts, because 2 nat 1s.
Was that a 20, Chelsey?
Nat 20.
2 nat
Absolutely.
20s,
Checks out.
1 nat 1.
2 nat 1s.
2 nat
16.
1s.
So it's a 9.
Yes. Favorite terrain, not desert.
It's a 16 for one.
Cool.
25.
Yep. Ursa, what does the nat 20 give you?
Nat 20. I have no negative modifier anymore.
Oh,
Not,
gives you
not,
20.
on, not, on
Nat
my,
20.
not on my perception.
Cool.
Investigation.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah.
a -1, but it's not a -2.
Tess?
That's got a 14.
Okay, so Rumi and Ursa, you begin to feel. You notice that like some of the sand is sort of down the dunes, and there's like a vague shaking sensation going on.
Can we tell which direction the sand kind of seems to be like drifting
Down.
toward?
Well, it's coming from underground, like underneath you.
Ground feels funny.
Now would
Ground
be a
is
good
going
time
down.
now
time
would
to
be a
get
good
up
time
if
to
we can.
fly.
Right.
Yeah.
Reaching into my bag, pulling up my flying broom, and going 50 feet straight up.
Oh,
Activating my boots of flying and going straight up.
cool.
Marky will cast
the
fly and fly not straight up, diagonally away.
Before Fianna pushes off using her boots, she's gonna cast Longstrider on Tess and Ursa and herself. So
Okay.
we all have plus 10 feet to movement.
Cool.
Marky
Can
will
I-
also cast will extend his flight with the extend meta magic.
Okay, what does that do?
Just doubles its time.
Okay, cool.
Can I attempt to grab Ursa and go up a little bit?
Ursa's very large.
Yeah, I know.
You
Very
can make a
heavy.
strength check.
Hey.
You will have to continue making them, and if you drop him, he will take full damage.
Yeah, that was
I
not
make a feather fall.
It's fine. It's fine. Leave him.
So Ursa's staying on the
He's good.
sand. Tess, are you staying on the sand?
Okay.
I'm staying on the sand, but Brock is going to run, and I'm going to have him like do heavy footfalls as he goes to try and send the thing towards Brock over and away a little bit.
Cool.
I will point out that Ursa is now like crouching and preparing to jump.
Yes, Mac?
Marky said purple worm out loud, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he said it very
What
loudly.
would I have to roll to go, what the hell is a
Nature.
purple worm? Cool.
Nature.
Very bad.
5, so 18?
Yeah, you've heard of them. They're big. They like to swallow things. Bad time.
Anything in particular beyond that?
Very poisonous.
Like, Alex definitely wouldn't have encountered one.
Yeah, poisonous. There's 18. You would probably know it's more acidic than poison. I'd say
I
that's
just-
probably all with an 18.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I just rolled for Tess because I realized that she's read a book that gives her advantage on nature checks about creatures.
Mhm.
And so that was a nat 20 for 24.
Hey, you would also know that being
These are a bad
invisible
time.
isn't going to help at all. They have both tremor sense and blindsight. So, yeah, that's a thing.
Tempting to jump, shield on arm.
They have a big stinger on their tail. It's a bad time.
Tess is going to cast Bless on herself, Ursa, and let's say Rumi.
Cool. I'm going
because
to
they
need Brock to make a dexterity saving throw as this worm comes out of the sand right underneath him.
Oh no, Brock.
Bye, birdie.
Look, Brock's got more hit points than me. Brock's fine.
That
Bye,
was
buddy.
that was a natural 3, which with his -1 dexterity as a camel is a 2.
Cool.
It's fine.
This worm is fucking enormous, and it comes bursting out of the sand right underneath Brock, and just mouth closes around him, and it does the like Loch Ness thing, right? I am gonna have to roll an attack, but it's ridiculous. So that is
AC
a
is like
17.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna also take some piercing damage and get swallowed.
Mhm.
That is 20 points of piercing damage. And he's now inside the worm, if he's alive. Is he alive?
yeah, only because of the speeches that were given at the start.
Cool.
He's very rough.
He is inside the worm. You will watch as the worm disappears under the sand again. I need you all to roll initiative. Thanks.
Oh, who gave speeches? I don't think I found if anyone did.
Murmur did.
Murmur.
25.
More went. Oh.
Would I have
Marky,
had an
you should
opportunity-
have 25 from aid and 25 from you.
Would I have had an
20.
opportunity to cast a spell while it was eating our camely friend?
The spell.
Yeah.
Oh, a spell. What
Yeah.
spell?
Hold monster.
No, you can wait for your turn for that. Maybe if it was a gentle buff spell, I might have allowed it, but no. Alright. Yes.
Could Fianna have done Guardian of Nature then?
What level spell? Isn't that a high level spell?
It's a 4th level bonus action.
Oh, it's a bonus. Alright, I'll give you a bonus action. Yep. I'll allow that. Alright. Initiative, let's go. Over 20.
24.
20.
31 for the nat 20.
Holy
God.
shit.
Mine was a natural 20 as well. What?
Alright, so 31. What was Marky's?
24.
And Ursa was 20.
20, yeah.
Cool. Over 15?
18.
What's your
15.
dex? Oh, your dex will be better. What was yours, Tess? Sorry?
15.
Okay, so who are you? Alex. And Tess. Rumi, Cleric initiative.
I rolled so good and I'm still last. I got a 14.
This is like that jailbreak all over again, isn't it? You're like, yeah, I rolled like mid-teens for my initiative. Everything's going 30, 28.
Yeah.
Fianna. You watched as this worm. And it's under the sand again. What do you want to do?
Well, I don't really want to go down in the sand with it. So I will summon my 3 crab folk to try to get it to come back up and eat more.
Okay, please hold. Crab folk, right?
Please hold
Yes.
for crabs.
Or for
Yeah.
so
Crabs.
Gale, Ishka, and Ogier. I'm probably pronouncing that last one wrong.
Them control.
Oh,
by
dear.
you. Are they large? I can't remember.
Yes.
Poor
Am I
crab
on
folk.
They're at least large. I don't think they're the huge ones.
Cool. You should be able to control them. So put them wherever you wish.
Yeah, they're gonna kind of stomp around,
They
Stomp,
are
stomp.
large.
trying
Cool.
to get it. And then, bonus action, she'll drink her radiant potion just in case.
All right.
That's her turn since
That's her turn?
she doesn't want to. Yes.
Okay, I
Marky.
can read chat.
All right.
Come on, it's funny.
Chuck will die tomorrow. Anyway, yes.
Marky is going to sort of fly roughly above near where the worm would probably eat one of these crabs, using a bonus action to dash. Because they're a
Cool.
rogue, they can do that now. Whisper will follow roughly 30 feet. Yeah, Whisper will move 30 feet around. As an action, as a prepared action, Marky is going to pull out a jar of crawler mucus. That they have prepared. Store-bought is fine. And they will prepare to just lob it into, or rather drop it, because at the height that he's at, into the creature's mouth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bad worm ate friend.
Yes, bad worm ate friend.
So Ursa's gonna go over and start stamping on the ground.
Cool.
Because he can't do anything else because he can't see it.
All right. Alex.
Alex is gonna fly a little bit closer, but not ridiculously so, and like put himself here, drop down to like 40 feet above the sand.
Okay. It is the worm's turn. The
Yeah.
worm is going to come up under Ursa and this crab. Which means it appears, so if you have a held action, you can do your held action.
I didn't say it.
I didn't say it.
Let's
so-
go in order. Fianna, you didn't have one? You didn't have a held action, right?
It would have been her crabs, but no.
Okay. Marky. You were
Their
going to
action
try
was
and
to summon them.
We're gonna lob a jar of crawler mucus right into its mouth.
make an attack roll, like an improvised
non-prepared.
weapon.
Yep. I believe throwing things is strength, right?
Sure.
That is... What's my strength?
Although you're dropping it, so I would say it's
True.
more aim.
Okay, so more dex.
So probably more dex, yes.
That
Which
is-
might be better for you, actually.
It's a lot better, yeah.
Like you're aiming for a mouth, so that's not really how hard
Yeah.
you can throw it. That's how accurate you can be. Yeah.
That's 19 to hit.
I should look at its AC. Please hold. I'll have to
Used
figure
to.
out. How does D&D work, you guys?
I don't know,
19
19 on the
misses.
dice.
But it keeps
19. Oh, so but plus somethings.
Oh, yeah, so it was 15 plus 4, rather. 19 in total.
15. Yeah, no, that misses, unfortunately. It like bounces off a tooth and lands on the sand. It's still there on the sand. You can, I guess,
Thank
try
you,
to
Violet.
retrieve it if you wish later, unless it
Yeah.
gets swallowed by the sand. Ursa is Whisper in the air.
Whisper is in the air, about the same height as I am.
Ursa and that crab need to make dex saves to avoid the worm as it jumps up. Please.
That's what you have a-
22.
Ursa
What
has
was that?
blast as well for D4.
Oh,
What did
cool.
you get,
Let's add
Ursa?
more. With the bless, I now have a 25.
Cool. So you managed to avoid it. Crab?
Gale got 8.
Okay. So, the way I'm going to work that is that means I'm going to roll my attack on Ursa with disadvantage. Because he's managed to dodge the initial, like, poof. But it's still going to try to bite you. It's not very good. Oh, it's still quite good because it has a big plus. 21
Just hits.
just hits. And Gale the crab is 30
To hit? Yes.
to hit. Cool.
Okay. Yes.
So Ursa. Oh wait, I've done this backwards. You did the dex save, so you do not get swallowed. You just get bitten. Good news. So you will take some piercing damage. 24 points of piercing damage. Gale takes 11 plus 9, 20 points of piercing damage. Gale is swallowed. Is Gale still alive?
Oh, yes.
Cool. Gale and
Yes,
Brock are
yes,
both
Gale
in
is
this
alive.
worm's tummy right now.
Would I be able to, as a reaction, grab hold of one of the spikes on the back of it?
You can certainly try. Make a athletics. Let's go with athletics.
Okay. 22?
Sure. You can grab hold of one of the spikes as it goes past. It has these big, like, things on its back. You can just grab hold of one of them. As you do, it is going to whip its tail at, I guess, probably one of the other crabs. Do you have range, bro? You do, but not enough. Oh, technically it has enough to hit this guy. The rest of you are in the sky, right?
Yeah, I'm like 40
Yes.
feet up.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's gonna whip its tail at that second crab as it goes past for a 24.
Hits.
Ooh, I rolled well. 22 points of piercing damage, and I need a Constitution save from crab number 2, please.
Constitution saving throw. That is 17.
It fails. I'm rolling this digitally because that's
Oof.
a lot of poison damage. 40 points of poison damage from the sting.
Eh?
Too glad that they're just
Still
crabs.
alive?
Cool. And then the worm under the ground. Ursa, you go under the ground with it because you're holding on. You will watch as Ursa grabs this worm as it goes past. It eats one crab, its tail slashes at the other one, stinging it, and then it's back under the sand again. With Ursa. Under the sand with it. Tess! You're up.
Right, is Alex not before me in the initiative?
Alex is gone already.
Got it already? Okay. Teth is going to...
Alex is before the worm.
He forgot to declare a held action.
He did. That's on him.
Oh no, that's on me. Alex, though. Alex is going to judge me.
Tess is going to just stand still so she doesn't activate any sort of tremor sense. And she's going to hold her action to cast a cantrip at it. Mind Sliver.
Okay.
When it pops back up. And I'm assuming that Brock probably takes some more like poison or
Yes.
acid damage in the
Brock-
stomach, and I think it's probably his hit points are low enough that it's probably just Brock goes.
Yeah, let me tell you, I'm gonna roll it digitally. just for your own knowledge, it is 26 points of acid damage.
Yeah.
Brock's gone.
Brock's gone.
Alright.
It's alright. He did what we set out to do for this mission.
Rumi.
She will just hold her action to cast Bane for when it reappears.
Okay.
And that is. And I think she's going to she's gonna fly back a little bit. That's a little close for my comfort zone. That's
Sorry,
it.
just quickly, Tess will also use Blade Ward on herself as a bonus action cantrip. It just gives her resistance to damage.
Two things. Okay. Fianna.
So Fianna, she's gonna hold her action for guiding bolt when it appears from her ring. She doesn't really have a bonus action she can do, but she's gonna command Ushka to start, the one that just got mauled by the worm. It's gonna start stomping again. The other one's gonna stand still, and then Gale inside is gonna make attacks while it's inside the worm.
Yep.
If
go
it
for
can do that.
Yep, absolutely. I believe
Okay, so
you are restrained. Attacks rolls. You know, you're supposed to have disadvantage on attacks, but you're inside the damn thing. So I'm gonna say that that's not the case because that's stupid. So you can have straight attacks. Because that's stupid.
So it makes 2 claw attacks.
Yep.
One for 17 and the other for 19.
Both miss.
17 and 19 both miss.
Correct.
Okay, I'm just making sure I heard correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it doesn't do any damage.
Could we argue that the AC would be lower on the inside of the worm?
Well, I already didn't give her disadvantage for being on the
Okay.
inside of the worm.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna
That's
say
fair.
they kind of cancel each other out.
Also, it's trying to dissolve a crab. If it can stand up to
So
that
moving.
much acid,
So, yeah.
it's probably pretty tough.
So Gale will also take some acid damage at the end of. Oh, start. Oh no. Yes, we'll do it that way. That's easier. So Gale takes 14. That's not too bad.
14. Okay.
Acid damage on the inside of the belly. I rolled a lot of ones. There were a lot of. It was 2, 1, 1, 1, 3.
It was still
Six.
dissolving. Brock was in the way.
Yeah, Brock was in the way.
The crab was inside Brock, so Brock got dissolved, and then
All right. Are your other crabs also holding actions?
Yes, they will hold their action to attack if the worm comes within 10 feet of them because they have reach.
And I ask that one of the crabs move to where my poison fell.
You can't because you're in combat. Okay, that's your turn.
I don't know if Fianna saw it, so yeah. So yeah, that's Fianna's turn.
Marky.
Alrighty. I accidentally drew something. Marky, what is Marky going to do?
I don't know. What is Marky gonna do?
As a bonus action, Marky is going to imbibe in a holy hazelnut surprise to get the
Okay.
effects of a non-concentration bless.
Mhm.
I don't know how he imbibes it, but he does.
Puts it into his
It's a
chest.
surprise.
Yeah, yeah, that's the surprise. And as they're going to try the poison again, they're going to pull out a second jar of crawler
Okay.
mucus and will
Cool. So as soon as the worm comes up, you're gonna try and throw this one in.
this time blessed.
Yes. All right. Cool. Perfect. Ursa, you are underground with the worm.
Oh,
What would you like
so
to do?
bonus action, I'm raging.
Yeah, I figured that was coming. Yep.
And I'm literally going to start digging claws in.
Cool. Go for it.
So, first claw, we're gonna have a 25 to hit. Oh,
That
and I'm
hits.
blessed. Does bless count for that as well?
Yes, but 25 hits.
It
so
hits, yeah.
You don't need it. Yep.
And the second one is a natural 20,
Nice.
because my dice love me.
I
So that's
hate
the
Alex.
claws. So for the first one, it's a 12 magical slashing from the first one. Uh, 18 magical slashing from the natural 20,
Yep.
and then he's going to attempt to try and bite it as well,
Gross, but sure.
which is a 23 to hit
Yep, that hits.
for 10 points of magical biting damage. And continuing to hold on. That's my turn. Can't hear you.
Sorry, my bad. I'm back. Alex, you're up.
Alex, not acting like an idiot this time, is going to hold his hold monster spell. So
Okay.
his goddamn worm sticks his goddamn head out. It's gonna paralyze this bastard because he took his friend.
Okay, cool. Anything else? You've still got a bonus action and a movement if you want them.
How high did this worm come out of the sand?
Probably a good 40 feet. Like, where you guys are flying, it could probably get you if it wanted to, but at the moment there's stuff on the sand that's easier.
Alex is gonna pop up 10 more feet. He's still well within his spell range.
This thing is really, really, like, huge. I want to say huge. It's massive. It's gargantuan. It's big.
Yeah, Alex is going to pop up another 10 feet, so it puts him 50 feet above the sand.
Mhm.
And the spell range is 90 feet, so
Cool.
he should be able
You should
to.
be fine. Yep.
Yep.
That
And
brings
he's
us to the
ignored.
worm.
Yeah, worm.
The worm. Okay, Gale. I'm going to just put Gale on the GM layer so we know who's where. The worm is going to pop up underneath whatever this one's name is.
Getting ridden by Ursa.
I'm going to do it in the right order this time and do an attack roll on him. No, I'm not, because you all have held actions. Let's do that first. Fianna, did you hold an action? Grab attacks.
I did, and also Fianna was holding Guiding Bolt for 21
yes.
to hit.
21 hits.
I also
Alright,
think that one of the other
I'll come back
have
with the
within
damage for
range.
that.
I was gonna say order probably matters in this because I think, like, did Tess hold an action? Because then I held an action.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, we'll come back to Fianna. So Tess, you're first, technically.
Okay, in that case, I need an intelligence save 18.
Cocked. Oh, wait, are you smart, buddy? No, I rolled an 18 for 13.
Oh.
So it takes 3 points of psychic damage,
Cool.
but importantly, it has a D4 removed from the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn.
Excellent.
So hopefully that should help the Bane kick in, which will then help the.
Yeah.
Poison
Alright.
kitchen.
When she-
So that's you. Rumi, you're next.
I need a charisma saving throw for Bane.
Oh, I'm sure he's so charismatic, especially when I
That's-
roll that kind of a number.
it looks like it.
I mean, have you seen his regal
a-
purple color?
0.
Oh,
With
that does not say.
No, it equals 0. That is my final roll.
Okay, so then you also have a D4 off of saves and attack.
Cool. Alright. Oh wait, that was minus the it's negative something then because of the Cool. Excellent. That's Rumi.
Yep.
Now we will try Fianna. Are you there? Because your picture's frozen.
So it was 21 for the guiding bolt, and that's 15 points of radiant damage.
Cool.
The first crab, Ishka, the one it just kind of like came under, it misses one attack, but it makes the second attack with a 22.
Yep.
And that does 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and I don't think it can grapple. Maybe
No.
it doesn't say that it can't grapple.
I
a
would
huge...
assume that it has to grapple things its own size or less. I think if it tries to grapple
Okay.
this worm, it's
I
going
mean-
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then, oh, those are 2 attacks, but both 50. So those are both 21.
Yep.
For the other one,
Yep, that hits.
so 15 more points of bludgeoning damage from the other crab's 2 attacks,
Nice. Cool. Awesome.
and that's her hold action.
Excellent. Alright. Marky.
Alrighty. We're going for another jar of mucus.
Wait.
Alrighty, this time with Bless. That is 22.
That does hit. So how does this poison work? Does it get a con save or something?
Yeah, so this is a contact poison. It's a relatively low save, I think. It
The
is
kind of
DC
save that...
It's a DC 13 con save, or be poisoned and paralyzed for a minute.
Well, it has a +6 to Constitution, so let's see if
Then-
my dice do the
And
usual
minus
trick.
a D4.
Negative D4.
Negative D4.
Negative 2 D4s.
Oh, Jesus.
No. Mine
No,
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 no, no,
just
yeah,
one, because you're right.
yeah. Mine Sever is only the next one.
Okay, so that is still an 18.
Okay, that's fine. Seeing that does absolutely nothing, that's fine. We'll go for the next. Go for the
That's a
next
cool
one.
idea. I kind of wish it had worked, but no.
I still
have
have
really
one
high
more.
Okay. Cool. Alright, and then Ursa, you did your stuff. Alex, hold worm.
Yes, I would like to cast Hold Worm. I'll need a Wisdom 20 save, please.
Oh
As
boy.
you'll see, Alex like reach into a pocket, pull out a little piece of iron.
Did you say
I-
20?
20,
The DC's 20. It can't make that save with Bane.
and just go freeze in Sylvan, and like he's proper angry about this.
Worm comes out of the thing, and various things attack it, and then it just grinds to a halt.
And just like Alex just staring it down, and it's like just this, like I want to say like a pinkish hue of like
I need
rose
to just
petals just
real
wrap
quick
around
have-
it and hold it in place.
hold monster is what we're dealing with here.
Correct.
That is the spell in
Can we
question.
actually attack it?
I'm looking. Wait, hang on.
It's
I want to see.
paralyzed
Oh, it's paralyzed. Wow.
for a minute, as long as I keep concentration. And at the end of each,
All right.
at the end of the turn, it can remake a saving throw.
Okay. In that case, it is not going to do anything else on its turn.
But sees it,
Um,
you said it can't make the saving throw, so
No, it
unless
can't
it
make
rolls
the
in that
saving- no.
20,
It can't make the saving throw while. Oh yeah, while it's banned. And so basically, it has to crit. Is what it comes down to.
so
Oh.
Alex will be sitting there and just go, after you.
So, Tess, you're up.
This is where paladins get good. But the first turn's not going to be as good because she needs to use her bonus action to rabbit hop 15 feet because she's not quite within range. So she's going to, with the rabbit hop, she's got 45 feet of movement, which should get her around about there, which is in range to now do some attacks with advantage, and
You
they
have
auto
auto.
crit.
Yeah,
If
I was about to
they
say that. If it hits, you auto crit because paralyzed.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a 27 to hit the first time.
I feel like this is just a meat grinder now, but yes, that hits. Because I can't do anything under retaliation.
Oh,
Except
oh,
digestive
it
crab.
hits as well.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Second
The
one
smites.
was. I will add the bless to that because it might be relevant. Second attack was only. Actually, I'm going to use Twitch Inspiration just in case because I don't remember what was said as being the AC.
It wasn't, but it's about 20.
Yeah, 19
Yeah.
doesn't hit, but 21 I think hits.
So I'm just going to roll one more dice there. Okay, so that's a 21
Yeah, that
to
hits.
hit. So 2 crit. She is going to put 3rd level smites into these because
Yeah.
why not? So the slashing damage on that is going to be hold for maths.
Hold for maths.
Oh, yeah. And then- So it's 50 slashing damage.
5-0.
Yep.
Cool. It needs to make a con
And-
save to see if.
Oh, yeah. There's
I
more
keep
radiant coming that's part of this. So
on.
then
Hang on.
2d8.
Yeah, it spits Gale up.
2d8 and
And it spit Gale. Can he spit it out?
It's an involuntary action, so I assume
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Yeah, Gale falls prone in a space within 10 feet of the worm. So we'll say Gale is like here.
then 47 rolled radiant damage on top of
I hope none of the
Si-
rest of you wanted a turn.
on top of
I did.
64 crit as well.
As well.
So 47 and 64 is what, 111 radiant damage?
Cool. You all watch as this bunny goes fucking apeshit on this worm and just rends it to pieces as Ursa's apparently doing a similar thing on the back because it didn't have that many hit points left, so it is now dead. Holy shit.
Oh,
To be
Paladin's
fair,
got a
we
paladin.
saw a halfling do that and not a bunny.
Yeah. It was. We saw a
You saw a
half.
halfling
Yeah.
jump as if it was a bunny.
Yeah.
We know it's Tess.
I mean, the worm like kind of convulses a couple of times. Gale comes flying out of its mouth, and then it just collapses on the sand. And there's this big like,
Does it
sand
because
around
it's
it.
still held?
yeah, but I think you can't because it's a wisdom thing. I would say once it's dead, you can't hold it anymore. Also, hold monster doesn't work on
Fianna just
undead, so
howls.
if it's like
Alex would totally try and hold it up.
it, yeah. Tess, holy shit.
Christ. Holy shit, indeed.
Yep.
That takes us out of combat. You see a couple of those like weird predator things that were kind of come out, look, and just go, fuck no, and leave again.
That just eyes one of them.
Nice work. That was a lot of damage in a single turn. That was like 150 points of damage in a single turn. I was like, this
I
is yeah,
pre-rolled Fianna's next attack. She was going to do 78.
Anyway. So I
You
should
would
have
have
given it
done.
double
you
extra
would've-
hit points.
You would have done double because I was gonna So
Oh, I mean that was
Cool.
that was with crit. She rolled low, but yeah.
Well,
I was
So
going to be
that's-
doing about 60.
takes us out of combat. So, what would you like to do?
Marky is going to retrieve his
Fair.
unspent jar.
Yep.
And also, he's going to see if he can extract the venom from this purple worm to see how many he can
I
get.
will need you to make a medicine check, please.
Yes, he does have
Fianna
the
will help
poison enough
him
each as
extract
well.
stuff.
That will
so
give
you
them
have
bardic
advantage.
inspiration.
Oh, okay. So
Double
what's the
buffs.
dice on bardic inspiration?
It's a d6.
Okay.
And advantage from Fianna.
Oh wow! And you know what?
Yeah.
For the sake of it, I'm going to add +6 to this with my
Flash of
flash
inspiration.
of genius.
Flash of
yeah.
genius.
Alex will very casually just descend to the sand, walk up to the head of this very dead worm, and say, "Do not take my friends."
So
I just casually step back a bit and let the dismembering happen.
that's a natural 20 +3 on my medicine check +6 +1 from the dice, so 30 all up.
Yeah, you managed to pull probably enough for roll me 2d6.
2d6.
2d6
Oh, this is gonna be a lot of venom.
potentially
This is 9 altogether.
enough for 9 doses of purple worm poison. You still have to make it though. Which,
That's fine.
yeah, but yeah,
I can make that check.
that was a very high roll.
Marky just became rich.
Between the 3 crab people and Ursa, can we drag this thing back to the camp for them?
Very big.
I mean, we're strong.
I don't
I
think
can
you're that
summon-
strong.
I mean, it's
Also,
I can summon another stream.
part of it is still underground, so you would have to pull it out of the sand.
I mean,
Worth
does
a
it-
Cut the
try.
head off.
presumably there's a bit that Tess has chopped off.
Or cut the
Yes,
tail.
yeah.
Can we like yank all the teeth out of this thing?
Yeah,
Because
Tess
these
is gonna
guys could
ask.
use them as weapons, or like we could.
Well, if we require their assistance, we have flares.
That's true. They did
But
give you
also-
flares.
Do we
Are we
want to
sure
yank the
this is
teeth
the
out,
thing?
or is it better to give it to them? They're gonna need these teeth more than we are.
Yeah, I was saying like we
well-
yank the teeth and we give
Oh.
it to them.
Yeah.
Or we just like tell them to come here and like, hey, look, food, tools.
That's probably also valid.
Yeah.
Tess is going to
So,
ask
I
Fianna
realized.
for help getting 4 teeth.
Okay, she will give it, but she'll also point out. I'm not sure this is the thing, because they said it was a creature they'd never seen before, and Garen talked about these before we came. So,
Are we?
I mean, I don't know how
incorrect?
common they are.
Well,
We
you
can
also know
ask
that this
them.
is not Garen's desert.
Yeah.
This is true.
Um,
So it's like that. There's like maybe, or we need to be sure that this is not common
Let's
here.
send up the flare and see if they recognize that when they come and can see
Do we-
everything.
Do we really want them traveling at dusk when it's not safe for them? We're accustomed to fighting things they are not.
Like, Ursa will just turn around and go, I can go and get them.
We can cut off the head and bring it back.
I mean, I can just teleport back there and teleport to you guys with them in tow.
Mac,
And
you want
how
to
do
say
we get them
something?
back?
Can I do like a Arcana magic, use my detect magic, and see if this is something from here, or
Not Arcana magic, because this is just a natural creature.
Nature.
You can make either nature or history to see what you know about these creatures and where they're from.
I was gonna say,
Ooh.
Rumi's
With-
curious to know if maybe there's another planar rift.
Marky will provide inspiration. Like
I will
You
do
can't-
history.
You can have guidance as well.
Would Tessa's nat 20 from before lead her to know that purple worms are capable of leaving the sort of funnel hole that they were talking about earlier?
In the that's more about the sand that you're in than the worm, because this is very, very soft, duney sand. That would be a natural response to something In fact, if you look at where it's come out, you will probably see that kind of crevice happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's break over angles.
It's it's
Um,
not about the worm leaving it. It's
Yeah.
just a natural reaction to the kind of sand you're dealing with, and
Out of
the way this thing moves.
out of curiosity, how long was my conversation with Spiky?
How long?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
And how long after did combat start?
I
That was
don't
like
think your
4 rounds of
plants-
combat total, dude.
Yeah, but I would say between that and all the faffing about before,
yeah.
you're probably
yeah.
not still speaking with plants. No.
No, I was gonna say we could just ask. We can ask them if this is.
So I got an 18 on a history check.
You've read some books. Purple worms are found in some deserts on some worlds, but not all deserts. It's not an assumed thing that they would exist just because it's a desert. But you're not sure about this particular world.
Alex, can you sense any magic, planar rifts, anything like that?
Do you have anything that finds planar shit?
Alexis?
Detect magic. So if there's anything within 30 feet, because I would have recast that.
You don't get anything like that.
No magic items inside of the belly of the beast.
I mean, the armor of this thing is pretty hefty. I'm not sure detect magic would get through it, to be honest.
True.
You might need to cut it
true.
open if you want to know that.
think
It's
Tess already
basically a
has.
lead box.
Yes.
Good.
I think Tess already
What
has.
are you doing?
opened it up.
Look, I can teleport to them, teleport them here, and then teleport them back if we want. Just means I don't have any further teleportations for the day.
Well, we can walk them back.
Or we can, like, they're over the dune. Like,
We
How-
will-
can go
yeah,
get
how
them,
far?
bring
Yeah,
them
how
back.
far away
that far
are
away.
we?
Like, you went far enough away that the battle wouldn't directly affect
Okay,
them,
yeah.
but you're not like miles and miles away.
Shall we keep some of us here in case any predators decide to, well, any scavengers try to take our prize?
Ursa
Well,
will
if you're
just
gonna
sit on the
teleport,
top of it
I
and
don't
just-
see why you would take. You could just go by yourself
Yeah.
if that's what you're gonna do. There's no reason for all of us to go.
Tess will stay
Maybe
with the
take
one.
Alex since he was the talky one.
Marky will
We can do that. Let's go.
pull out an arm for Alex to link, and then
Alex will take an arm and say, "Please let us continue upon our journey."
and before
Of
he even finishes,
adventure.
we vamp. We vamp.
So you
Because
show
if
up
Alex
in
has
the
an
middle.
opportunity to overact, he always overacts.
So you show up in the middle of the camp. Several people go as you appear out of nowhere. Oh, hello. Where's the rest of your party? Did they get eaten?
No, they're
Oh.
guarding a giant
No.
purple worm that we killed.
We'd
Oh.
just like some confirmation that this is potentially the issue that's been causing you problems, and that we'd like to show you that it's been resolved. Would you like to come with us?
We can certainly send 1 or 2 people. Yes.
Excellent.
They'll reach out their other hand.
Are we going to do that magic thing you just did?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Unless you want to
very
walk.
well. No, their game. A couple of them come over and like go. How many people can you teleport at once? How many people are you thinking?
It's like 10?
Teleport. I
8?
can.
8.
Yeah, 8 willing
Okay.
creatures.
So like 2 of them will come with you.
I
These
will
helmets
turn
and
to this.
bows.
I'll turn to the people and
Mhm.
go. I can assure you, no harm will come to you. This is, from where I'm from, quite commonplace. I just would like you to be assured that everything will be fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And they
go.
bamf.
Awesome. You bamf back to the worm. One of them immediately throws up.
The
other one's
oh
like-
yeah, Marky pulls out some ginger tea.
Whoa.
Like, yeah,
That was a thing. That was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
teleportation sickness.
It
is
is,
a very
isn't it? Like-
dangerous thing.
Alex,
and then-
like that inner excitement comes out of Alex. Like, I know.
They're-
it's
They're
early."
already distracted because there's a big worm, so they're going to walk over to it and be like, "Oh, that's large. That's large." They kind of pat it gently. Huh. Interesting.
Would this be the problem that you believe you've been dealing with?
Well, I've never seen one of these before. So I would assume so, yes. We only ever saw what was left. We never saw the creature itself. The people, we assume the person who saw it didn't come back.
Does this crevice match the ones that were left?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is the thing. It's definitely
It's
new
not
to the
anymore.
desert. Well, thank you. That's impressive. You just killed it. You just killed it. Like,
In roughly 15 seconds flat.
huh. Well,
Ursa's literally sat on top of it, kicking his feet a little bit, and like just.
these
leans
people
over and
are. You can't see
Fine.
much of their facial expressions because they're still covered with like clothing, but they seem pretty freaking awestruck by this situation. They're like, both of them. The one who's was throwing up has recovered. They're both just sort of walking around this thing, kind of, whoa, very impressed.
Oh.
We are one hell of a merchant troop.
So
Clearly,
I do not wish to impose ideas upon your culture because it is beautiful and I don't want to change anything about it, but there is a quite large selection of teeth here. If you require weapons for hunting, please.
oh yes, we use everything the desert offers, so we will break this down, unless you wish for trophies, and use everything, one way or another. We will
Excellent.
find uses.
I would suggest, as just caution, there's a bit of poison in this, a bit of acid.
Yes,
Just-
many desert creatures have those things.
I did
We
extract
have ways of dealing with it.
Ursa's going to point to the spike that he's been still holding on to because he hasn't moved. It's just like, can I has, please?
Of course.
I would also like
Gonna
to
rip
ask
it off.
that if there are any magical items that don't belong, obviously, to you guys in this creature's stomach, can we please take those as trophies as well?
Yes, you killed it.
Are we
so
gonna
the
stay
trophies are
around
yours.
for that?
Well, can we just, like, while we're here and we have magical items to do this, like, yank its stomach out?
Do you have such a thing that will yank its stomach out?
Well,
I
he's got claws and... Like, because Alex doesn't have a magical weapon. So
Well,
Alex knows
if you-
him getting into this is going to be very difficult.
We should break it down quickly because once the heat sets in,
It'll decompose.
it'll be bad. They turn and they just kind of pull their thing down and do like one of those hard, like really loud wolf whistle things. I can't do it. My father can. And after a few minutes, you see all of the tribe coming over and they start breaking this thing down. And it's like a well-oiled machine. Like they've clearly, maybe nothing of this size before, but they're just applying the skills they already have. And they have generations of knowledge of using whatever is in front of them in as many ways as possible. So they start to pull it down and break it apart. When they get to the stomach, they do in fact find some cool shit.
Well,
Can I say that Umbra tagged along with either the teleport or the people
Yep.
coming?
Absolutely.
Okay. So Umbra
Um,
just gives me the report of not seeing anything.
Alex rolled a 22 on perception. He just wants to watch how they're going about this. Like, he's not trying to pick up on anything sneaky. He just wants to watch the whole process.
It's very efficient, and you see them like all the scales on the worm. They pull them off, and they like examine them and clean them as much as they need to. They have like kind of like sleds that they put things on that are obviously designed for moving across sand, pulled by camels. They pull out any teeth that are left, any meat that doesn't seem to be poisoned. Like they seem to have. One of them does have an amulet, which you would recognize as a purify, blah, 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 which seems to cleanse the meat, and it gets packed away. It's very efficient. They've clearly done this sort of thing before, if not on a creature of this kind. There is a little bit of debate about some of the things and what it might be useful for, because this is new, but this is
and
really
again, just trying to help where she can.
Yeah,
but
Marky
she's
can
gonna
ritual
give-
was purify. So
Tess is going to give Alex a look like, now we need to ask for.
Once all this is done, they will say, let us go back to camp, and then we can decide what to do with. They do find a number of things which we will talk about in a minute, but they'll take you back to the camp. Everything just gets loaded up. The vibe is to get through as much of it, to like deal with this as fast as possible, so that they are gone by the time it gets hot again. When they get back to camp, let's go back to camp. I even have a nighttime camp, you guys. Check it out.
Oh, nighttime camp.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm gonna say I think I like nighttime camp better.
Yeah, it's pretty, hey.
It's
But,
it's
Oh,
got
it's
it's got
gorgeous.
mood.
yeah.
Ambiance.
I'm not going to put all your tokens on there because it doesn't really matter at this point. But they pull everything out. You find in the thing's belly an entire suit of armor, which is magic. You find a robe which is not dissolved, which suggests it's magic. There is a ring with a little hummingbird on it. There is it looks like a walking cane. And a couple of staffs.
Ooh.
Ooh, sounds very magic.
This
And
is
they
very
kind
intrigued by
of-
all of it.
One of the people come over and kind of removes her mask, and she's clearly a woman, and she looks at them all, and you see her kind of close her eyes, and those of you who recognize it would recognize Identify. And she kind of goes through all the items, and she goes, none of these are really useful to us. If you wish to keep them, they are yours.
Yes.
Do they
please.
look like they match, like
What do you mean?
fabric, like fabric?
Is it a single
styles,
party?
Oh.
like single party, or like the style of this area, like where we're in?
No, they definitely don't look like anything that these people are wearing or have.
Tess is just assuming this is another planar tear.
None of these things look like they belong in a desert, on a desert world at all.
Would any of us recognize the clothing or anything from where we might be from?
I mean, there's only a robe. The rest of it is like other things. The robe maybe looks a little bit like stuff you might have seen Artor wear.
Oh, the Marky has a good idea where it could be from.
It's got that vibe. Got
It's got a "this is designed to
Marble.
be worn in cold places" vibe, which is not a desert thing.
Marky will ask, while we're going through the magic items, if we can take some of the scales of the purple worm, because Marky has some plans to create some plate armor for our druids.
They're very happy to share the like, as far as they're concerned, this is your trophy. They'll use the meat and they'll use anything that is left, but
I
the
assume,
magic stuff is not useful to them, and they're happy for you to take whatever scales and teeth you want.
I assume they would have, if we had any of those requests, they would have
Yeah.
taken the excess that they couldn't grab.
Absolutely,
And just
they'll
gone,
take
"Here you go."
whatever you leave, but yeah,
Ursa would have taken 3 of the biggest spikes off of it then, please.
Okay, cool.
I'm
Yeah,
going to take enough
Fianna
of
just
5
takes 2
plate
teeth.
armors.
Cool.
Tess is
Okay.
gonna look to Alex and be like,
So we figured out what we've got north Z-Corps.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so
we
I
can
will-
clarify later if necessary.
Okay.
But yeah,
I will
Yeah.
talk to said person and just like get back to like making conversation and try and steer it towards what they do when like the weather kicks up and like clearly like they know how to use some magic stuff and what magic things are useful to them. Because if this
Well-
isn't, what sort of things are?
we have several things that make water. We have the jug, and a couple of other items that help us with liquids. And we have some of these. And she pulls out of like a bag on her side, a little wooden box, and she opens it up. And inside you see a round, like about this big, like orangey brown stone is what it looks like. It's like a globe.
Pretty.
And she goes, this allows us to predict and avoid certain weathers. We can set them up around the camp, and it allows, if there are sandstorms, for example, it creates a bubble, and the storm goes around us.
That is amazing. I have never heard of anything like that before.
No, well, why would you need it outside of a place like this?
Well, if in places that I've travelled, I've dealt with blizzards before. So think of your sandstorms, but snow and frozen water. It's
Frozen. What is frozen?
Old.
Oh, like
Water
water,
instead.
water that is so cold that it's rock hard.
I have never heard of that.
Mm.
The opposite to the desert.
Does
It's
anyone
yeah.
have control water?
I
Yes,
actually
we'll-
did. I did bring control water.
I'll go.
Do you want
Oh,
to show them?
No.
Yep.
I can show you, and I will cast minor illusion, and show like a party of like our party in like snow and like a like blizzardy like white.
It's like a
overcast.
sandstorm, but whiter.
Better
Yeah.
yet, do we want to give these guys a skating rink?
I'm
I
not
have-
sure.
I have both create water and I've got control water.
I mean, Ursa's still got like 20 pints of water in his bag as well.
Yeah, we can give those to them though.
And so something like that you have, which is incredible, would, if it could be used in other ways, would be very useful. But
Yes.
so I'm just curious, how does it work?
Oh, they work in conjunction with each other somehow. It's a little bit of a mystery to us. I can do minor magics, as you can see, but I don't know anything very complicated. Every one of our family groups has them. They're just something our tribe has always had.
Oh,
Do you know who originally made them, or do you have schematics to create more or fix
We have-
ones that are broken?
Always had them. They do not break. Well, I have never experienced them to break. We have many. Would you like to take one?
If
could
that's
we?
Yes, we have many.
That
I-
would be amazing. Thank you. Mr. Ursa, could you please pay these people? Do you have another barrel, sir?
Just reach in and pull out another barrel casually. Like,
That water again.
Yes,
he
Oh,
shakes it a little bit
goodness.
and it's like, yeah.
please.
Huh.
I
Well, that
this is incredible, and I would feel terrible if I were to take it as a gift and not give you something in return.
Well, we will accept your water. It is foolish to decline water in the desert, but you have also done us a great service here today. You may
Um,
consider us friends.
Yay, friends! And just like pushes a barrel towards them.
Yeah, I will.
Shall I examine this? And see if I can make more. Friend?
You can, or you can take it
Oh,
home and
yeah, no,
faff with-
Marky's
faff
saying
around with
that.
it at home.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
like
Zook
he's saying
can-
that in character.
Yeah.
If you can make more, it would be lovely if you perhaps brought more back. We have many, but there is a fear that perhaps, if they get lost, or life would be harder here without them.
Making magical things is my trade. So if I happen to crack the code, as it were, then I would be happy to oblige.
That will just ask, does one on their own do an effect, or do you need two or more together?
Would work, but the effect, the area of effect would be much smaller. If you
That's
were
it.
alone in the desert, just you, and you had one, you could probably protect yourself with it. But to protect a whole camp, we use 7 here to protect a camp of this size.
Well, I think we have everything we need.
How many kids did Ursa see playing around this place earlier?
Like 3 or 4.
I'm gonna take 4 of the little wooden animals that I make, and just put them on top of the barrel as well.
Oh, those are lovely.
There's a horse, an elephant, a bear, and an octopus.
They've never seen any of those animals. They're like, what are these? Are these some sort of made-up creature?
No, they're
Yes.
aminals.
Aminals? Aminals. Excellent. An octopus. These guys have never seen an octopus.
No, it's fine.
Well, morning comes. You've pretty much been up all night because you've been dealing with taking this thing apart, and it would have taken most of the night to get it like broken down and brought back to camp and had all these conversations. So morning begins to like the sun starts. Sorry, go ahead.
How close are we to 8 hours?
Since
beginning.
Since Morwen cast seeming on us.
oh yeah, no, it's definitely been 8 hours.
Point this out. Okay, so Fianna would have pointed that out to the group at some point, that like if we do stay, we need to be gone before 8 hours have passed, or they're going to know, or we need to prepare to explain why we look different.
No, Rumi would be in the party of we need to leave before then.
Fianna would rather
pointed
leave.
that out, Alex would have like sped the whole thing up.
We can assume that you retroactively would have like managed to do that.
Yeah, it would have been
anyway.
while we were walking and away from the party. It's like, I can protect us with the tiny hut, but if we're gonna stay and see the mystics, we need to be over by the mystics before we leave.
Seeming, yeah.
Yeah, before the
Nope.
seeming passes.
I
Do we
mean,
need-
Rumi's gonna let the mystics go because this is obviously what we were
Well,
supposed to come here for.
Mission.
This would have
mission
been when we
this.
had the mystic conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, we can always be
She's
sent
fine.
back.
Yep.
Mission was this.
Well-
We got what we came for. We can let the lady know of the mystic's existence, and if she wants something with them, she can let us know, and we can have a different mission.
We will
You're at like 7 hours and 50 minutes. What are you doing?
we will thank them for their hospitality, take our leave, and say, do not worry, we will be leaving your lovely encampment, and we have our own way back. This has been a very successful trade mission. Hopefully we will see each other again.
We are grateful for what you have done here today.
And then we will walk out into the
Oh.
desert. Get
Everyone's
over
like,
in June.
Jax, you're too nice. Make them pop. But I also forgot about it, so.
I have that flag, so we can always come back if needed. We have a catalyst.
I will have grabbed a tooth. It's okay.
Although, the strong suspicion is that worm's not from here.
Yeah.
So that tooth may take you somewhere else.
That's better.
Alright.
I mean, Ursa's got a jar of dirt.
So you
I
are
got charged there.
out into the desert. It is starting to get hot again. As soon as the sun rises, the temperature starts to climb.
Yeah,
Let's-
not like this. The temperature climbs like this.
Once we're out of eyesight, I think Tessa's just going to look to everyone and say, Bellatrix.
You are back in the throne room. The lady looks up and goes, "Oh, you were gone for some time. We were beginning to worry."
Takes a long time to break down and chop up a giant purple worm, my lady. But
Yeah.
the corpse was more trouble than the living worm.
Did you say giant purple worm?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I would guess Brock or someone would have like just.
Brock
Like,
doesn't have
Yeah.
anything. Brock's not
Brock
here.
ain't got
Oh,
none.
yeah.
Brock left. Brock didn't come back.
Thanks for the salt in the wound.
There is stacks on stacks on stacks of purple worm scales.
Well, it looks like you did very well. Did you get what I sent you for?
Marky will pull out the orb and say, yes. They don't really control the weather so much as protect themselves from it, but
Interesting.
they use many of these to predict the weather and
Hmm.
put a bubble over their camp.
And control a field. Each one of them seems to interact with many. We negotiated for the purchase of this one, and hopefully we can study it and duplicate it.
Replicate it. Yes.
So
That could be very useful.
yeah, I'm not sure what Zook's
They also
capacity is like, but Ferris and I could probably work on it.
I am sure Zook is more than capable of helping out with that.
Yes.
Zook's probably there, and he's probably already taken it and started looking at it if I know anything about Zook.
We also have several magical items that need to be looked at by Shadow or Zook.
Yes.
We can arrange that. Shadow gets up from
TSA.
wherever she's sitting and rolls her eyes and goes, "Yep, we'll have a look. Bring him on over."
I don't know if it'll be important, but they spoke of a group. We came across an oasis, and they told us essentially that it's wiser not to go. And they spoke of mystics that they consult in times of need.
Oh.
This would have been an instance where they would have went to see them. We thought about visiting them, but we did not. But
We were running out of time.
yes.
Well, perhaps we will send an envoy
To note,
and see who these mystics are.
to
You
note,
did
they
mention
did say
strong
that
guardians.
strong guards that are violent,
Violent.
and that the mystics are a last resort.
That said,
see.
milady, these were not soldiers
Yes.
in and of themselves, so their
Of course.
estimation of the guards.
Yes, I understand. Possibly anything that puts up a fight is considered more trouble than it's worth in an environment like that. Very well. Well, we shall see if this is worth pursuing. It may be. Maybe that these mystics have information that would be helpful.
Or
Maybe
All
they do
information
have
is-
weather controlling magic.
Maybe they do. All information is good information. That needs to be a sticker, you guys.
I'll try.
We love you, Tiff.
questions are dangerous, for they have answers. That.
If there's nothing else, my lady, I have a certain pretty elf waiting for me that I'd like to attend to.
Yes,
Bring
of
them
course
to
we
a
do.
tea party. Oh, my queen, I'm having
Yes.
a tea party. Do come along. It's
You're
in my house.
inviting me to your tea party.
Do you not like tea?
I do like tea very much.
So come along. It's an open
I
invitation.
might do that. Yes, thank you. Nope, she wouldn't say thank you. Jax is tired, but the lady wouldn't say thank you.
So it smells like worm. Ursa go, bye, purdy lady.
Goodbye, Ursa.
Tess leaves as well.
All right. Unless there's
Fianna
anything
will
else.
Wait.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, but we don't have to do it on the stream.
No, we can do it. We can
Oh.
do it on stream. It's always fun doing
Once
things on
everyone
stream.
is gone, she would say,
Just
I
a note.
realize
That Gur and Zook are probably still in the room.
she doesn't mind about that.
Okay, that's fine. Just make
She's
sure.
like, I realize the mission is probably secret and I don't care about that. But can you please confirm that Garen is still alive?
I can.
Or is that asking too much?
No, I can tell when people who have unfinished favors with me pass off this mortal coil, and Garen is still firmly coiled.
Okay.
I can't
Thank
tell
you.
you much else. I don't know what's happening, but I do know that he lives.
As long as he lives, there is hope. She
Indeed.
will nod and leave the third room.
Before you go, she'll say, I wouldn't worry too much. I am sure that Garen and Arto are perfectly competent at what they have been sent to do. But
Thank you.
it does involve
She wouldn't say that.
what's the phrase? Fey bullshit. So time weirdness is not uncommon.
Ah. It is appreciated. And then she'll
course.
leave.
All right. So you all go off to do your things. I will drop a list of items into the chat in Discord so you can see what you've got. That was freaking amazing. Paralyze the purple worm and just beat the crap out of it. Awesome.
You've got to make a 20
job.
DC 20 whiz save. I figure a worm's not that
No, it's not
Nice.
that wise. Not that wise.
It
Very
was
nicely
great with
done.
AC's over 19. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, you guys did awesome. Give yourselves a clap. So tomorrow we are doing Big Fish, which involves a team going to find out what in a lake is eating a bunch of fishermen. It's a very similar sort of game. I don't know why they both ended up on the same weekend. That's just coincidence, but that's fine. I'm gonna try and eat another bunch of people. We'll see how that goes underwater. It'll be great.
Does somebody have hold fish?
Hold fish. So make sure you join us for that. Next week we have the Floating Rocks. Lionel will be DMing the Floating Rocks on our usual Saturday slot. At the moment, that's the only game we have scheduled for next weekend. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching us do this crazy nonsense. And we will see you all tomorrow to go fishing. Have a beautiful time zone. Bye-bye.
Bye.